Hello everyone and welcome to another stream. How y'all doing? I'm Hannah, your host, and today we're going to be looking at a couple sovereign citizens, maybe more, but mostly we're going to be focusing on Catispinda and Marcel of the family Bassett, two of our favorite sovereign citizen regulars. How's it going, everyone? Hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. If I haven't seen you since Christmas, I hope you had a good one. And I hope you're getting ready for New Year's. We're the nebulous time at the end of the year between Christmas and New Year's where no one knows what day of the week it is and everyone's stuffed with food. It's a really good time, to be honest. So, how's it going? Oh yeah, this is gonna be a rough stream, but entertaining. So that's a bonus. Oh, there's a hydrate command. I'll do that. Hey Mr. Blast, how's it going? Pandinus Rex, thanks for 19 months, says hello Hannah in chat. Hello, welcome, how you doing? Which one's better, Tales from the Dark Side or Tales from the Crypt? That's tough. What do you mean by better? If I had to pick an overall favorite, I'd pick Tales from the Crypt, but I don't want to denigrate Tales from the Dark Side because it's a really great show. But Tales from the Crypt had that HBO money, so, you know, they did have some what's the word I'm thinking of? They had a leg up on the competition. Plus, I'm a fan of the humorously macabre, and that's sort of the whole vibe of Tales from the Crypt, so. Nerdy, thanks for 15 months, says, I'm gonna miss a chunk, if not all of this, because I've got 15 minutes till dinner and we have the new Wallace and Gromit to finally watch. Sorry, Hannah, the world of smart gnomes and terrible British puns requires my attention. I hope you enjoy your stop motion, and some Wensleydale cheese along with it. 12p, thanks for a 7-month streak with Prime, says, crappy stream idea. Erotic stream. Everything is referenced as being erotic, while clearly none of it is erotic. That's... You did say it was a crappy stream idea, so yeah, accurate. 93% to level 1 in a hype train. If you want to help support the stream, you can always gift subs. We're getting close to the end of the month, and we're nearing our sub goal for the month. So if you want to help support the stream, get those sub numbers up. Other than that, we can just get into it. We'll start with a Christmas message from Catispinda and your twin flame partner. Should be interesting.
I'm Aaron.
Oh no! That went the wrong direction.
Hello, good men, women, sons, and daughters. This is Catispinda.
And I'm Aaron.
And we are...
Karan.
Oh no, they have a ship name. They have a ship name. You can't make your own ship name. Sheesh. Oh boy, holy crap. Bumble Homestead, thanks for 56 months, says, hope y'all have had a lovely holiday. I have. I hope you're having one too. And then Nemesaur gifts 20 tier 1 subs, Valorant adds 4 gift subs, and 3 bonus gift subs, because if you don't know, I believe until New Year's, they're doing 30% off gift subs, and Valorant as a sponsor is throwing in extras, which is incredible. Absolutely incredible. We're already at 31% to level 7 on the hype train because of that. Thank you, Nemesaur, so much. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And as they say in Hawaii, Mele Kalikimaka, Haole Makahikiho. And that means Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of our brothers.
Why is Cat... Why Hawaii? I'm confused. What? Mallow Honey with 11 months says, I've barely had time to sit down for a stream, but hi y'all, missed ya. I missed all y'all too. I had to work yesterday, unfortunately, but now I don't have to work again until the new year, so that's good. Well, but this is like a weird job in that I did barely consider this work, you know what I mean? Job I enjoy, opposed to the job I hate, or at least do begrudgingly because I have to.
There, we're waiting for the new Earth.
She's claimed to be native Hawaiian? Okay. I'm not going to dispute that. I don't know her life. Whatever she says.
Right now, we're in the time of Christmas, and so we thought we would just give a warm message.
When she says native Hawaiian, does she mean like she's indigenous in her family, or does she just mean like she was born in Hawaii, but she's like a white lady? Because those are two very different things.
to everyone out there just to wish you the same, and all of you to have hope.
Native by
knowing
family? Okay.
that we are moving
That's fine
into
then.
the golden age, and it's very exciting times.
It's been an exciting year, 2024. Can you believe it's already been 9 months since the land heist? And you've done so much to expose the corruption here in our county, not just in our county, but the entire country, the debt slave system.
Mhm.
Has it really been 9 months since she got her house taken away? Yeesh. Time goes by, doesn't it? I find it funny, too, that he's here, like, opining about how much she's done. Again, I feel for Kat. She's clearly trapped in her delusions, but, like, what has she done? She's complained on the internet about things she doesn't understand. And I get that. I do that, too. But the difference is I'm not pretending I do anything significant. Lennon Cat says she mentioned being indigenous when we had the one native guy who started his own native nation, didn't she? She may have. I didn't catch it.
The corruption in our law enforcement, in the courts. It's been a busy year.
It's been a very busy year.
Why is she bigger than him? Here's a little thing called force perspective. She's leaning closer to the camera. He's leaning further away.
Bidenomic culture where everybody is struggling, suffering. People who've made very good money are selling properties, selling cars, not making the money they used to make because of all of the tax hikes and insurance increases. People can barely afford their lives. It's crazy.
Well, and like you said, though, we are in a time of hope, especially with Trump being elected and the Biden economy is going away. President Biden, the House plan.
How is she gonna explain things when things get more expensive, in particular if he successfully does the tariffs? How's she gonna justify that? That'll be interesting. Terradona, thanks for gifting 2 tier 1 subs. Minute left on the hype train, 64% to level 7.
Plan is going bye-bye.
Yeah.
Doorknob Harris is not going to be our president. It's a happy time. And we're watching the deep state squirm right now, and it's a very hopeful time. It's a great time to be alive, and I am looking forward to 2025.
The imaginary
Yeah,
deep
I
state
can't
we made
imagine
up is
what's
sure
going to be
squirming.
happening in the next 6 months.
That's the
because-
nice thing about making up an imaginary enemy is you can just pretend they're scared of you randomly. That's fun.
Because now that we know that Trump is getting into office, there's just a lot of talk about false flags and things happening to President Trump. But we know that we are on a positive timeline and that God wins. And so, I mean, I don't know how much more excited everyone can be. We need to do a recap of just all of the amazing things that happened in 2024. I mean, just the fact that Lord Rothschild kicked the bucket, the King Lizard himself of the world central banking, Babylonian banking system.
Oh boy, it's a lot. I feel like I'm getting gish galloped by bingo spaces. Thanks for the hype train, everyone.
You know, this is the end times for them, not for us.
We're not playing bingo today, but if we were, that would have been a decent number of spaces. Prey says, unironically, Biden did a lot for the economy once you compare how fast the US recovered from COVID, and the fact that we had significantly lowered rates of inflation compared to other countries, but that also is hard to tell people when, even given that, people can't make ends meet. Unfortunately, you can't tell people. For whatever reason, I've noticed this. It reminds me of COVID, when people were like, no, I'm not gonna wear masks or do basic, like, health things. It seems like there's a large part of the population that just doesn't want to admit that bad things can happen, and all you can do is mitigate it. You can't stop it. And then if you don't stop it, even if you can't stop it, all that can be done is mitigation. They'll point at the results of the mitigation and go, you didn't stop it all the way. You didn't do enough, no matter what, because they were still inconvenienced a bit. Even if they would have been more inconvenienced and more fucked over in the alternative, that's not how people's brains think. They go, I got fucked over either way, not realizing that mitigating something is still better than doing nothing or doing the alternative that would have been worse. People are kind of dumb and short-sighted, is what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that to any particular group of people, even. I'm saying, by and large, this is a pattern I have noticed of people in general. And I try and check that in myself, just because all of the things I talk about are present in myself as well. We're all human beings. We share the same kind of brain. We all fall victim to the same, fallacious thoughts, the same problems. And, yeah, that's one. That's one. We don't really deal with problems well that can't be avoided.
We're moving into a new earth where our children will be free, where we will be able to bring them up in a high...
They'll be free to be the wage slaves of billionaires like Elon Musk, who don't even want to hire them because they can't use them as well as they can HB1 visa people whose entire existence in the country is dependent upon their employment by him. Man, I need to stop making jokes that are just thinly veiled posts.
frequency.
They get wordy.
Environment, which we've not been able to do because they've just done everything they can to keep our frequency very, very low. So we're always complaining, fighting, not being thankful for what we have and for our families, for all the things that we have. It's just amazing. I'm very thankful for all of the...
As we all know, sequels are never as good as the original. Max Power says, I just got logged into Twitch, and the first I see is this guy's eyes being too wide open. Never a good sign, but nice to see you, Hannah. Hope you had a nice holiday. I hope you're having good holidays, too. Good to see you.
The things that we have right now.
And we're going to have even more to be grateful for when this new earth does arrive. A world of abundance awaits all of us. We just got to get there. And we are moving.
We are moving. Woo! And yes, so the exposure has been going on. A lot of exposure. A lot of people are starting to wake up to the fact that the banks...
The Two Tower was a fantastic sequel. You could name the number of sequels that are better than the original on your hands. I'm gonna put it. It's the exception, not the rule. Terminator 2. Maybe Aliens. That's subjective, but there are certainly people who think Aliens is better than Alien. Empire Strikes Back. Two Towers, which I haven't seen, so I can't speak to that. Hellboy 2? I don't know if I agree with that one, but I'll put it on the list. Wrath of Khan. That's fair. Short Circuit 2 is way worse than Short Circuit 1. Short Circuit 2 sucks. There's so much brown face in Short Circuit 2. Evil Dead 2, Shrek 2. I would agree with the Shrek 2 one. Gremlins 2, I don't think so. I love Gremlins 2, but it's not a better movie. It's basically a parody of the first film. Godfather 2? Sure. I've not seen it. That's one of my film blind spots. I've never seen the Godfather films.
Find nothing. That we live in a system of bank fraud, election fraud. There's just fraud.
Die Hard 3 was not the best one. I like Die Hard with a Vengeance, but it's not the best one. The first Die Hard is borderline a perfect movie.
Fraud everywhere, and you've got people.
Oh, the boy is screaming at me. I know you can't hear it because of my noise gate, but the boy is screaming.
People in the...
To be clear, I own the Godfather trilogy. I've just never watched it.
System pushing the bus for ching. And
that's not normally what people call money, but okay. Texas Chainsaw 2 is also pretty good, but again, it's a thing where it's borderline a parody of the first one.
And this is not the world that God created.
Like, I don't even feel right repeating what she said because it sounds racist. Like, she was just trying to be like, she might mean, like, I know she's just trying to say money, but what she said sounded like, it sounded like how J.K. Rowling would name an Asian character.
Created for us.
And just speaking on this busy year that we've had, you especially, you've done so many appearances.
Crisscross, thanks for becoming a member on YouTube. Speaking of membership, if you are a YouTube member or a Patreon member that pays, we will be having a patron and YouTube member only stream tomorrow. So, yeah, become a Patreon or join YouTube as a member and you'll get access to that.
So many shows and released so much valuable information to your viewers. You just did a show that we actually just watched this, Patriots with Grit. Had Kat on, and it was a great show. And you didn't even, well, you scratched the surface, but there's so much more to go over, and I'm looking forward to seeing you back on there. And
Patriots
it
with
sounds like they are too.
grit.
So,
Good God.
Patriots with Grit, great show.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I look forward to being back on in the coming month. And, you know, there is a lot that we were not taught in school. We were not taught about this Babylonian banking system. We thought that the medical industry was helping us, but instead we now realize that when
Medical
they say
science is helping
practice,
you. Medical science is helping you. Medical industry, that's a problem of incentives. You shouldn't be having things be for profit. But
it's
medical science absolutely helps you.
part of the word magic. They're telling us that they are practicing on us. And, you know, we have to start waking up. Words matter. They were trying to
Does
teach
she understand what practice means? Like,
us that words don't matter.
like practice has a definition. Of course, there is the definition that means like to do something over and over again to get better at it, but it also means like something you do regularly. It's something you do.
Action matters. That's
A
not
common practice, a private practice doctor.
true. We have to be careful of our words because God created us in his image. And because of that, he created the universe using words, which have frequencies, which have a vibration. Every letter, every word.
Not all words have No, you're talking about speech? Speech has a frequency in the sense that it is verbal, and therefore it's using sound waves to convey noise, and those sound waves have a frequency, but the word doesn't. You can write a word. There are all sorts of different sign languages that use, you know, your hands and gestures to say words.
Has a vibration to it. And, you know, we could be casting blessings or curses on ourselves, just depending on how we speak. And because of how they created and crafted the American English language, we're constantly casting spells
How they
on.
crafted the English language. I don't think she understands where language comes from. Ashley One Up says she's gone so deep down the rabbit hole she's running into the cast of Watership Down.
Ourselves. And that's why it's so important that we get this message out.
Boy, what's up? Hi, buddy. Wanna come here? Pets. I will pet you. Pet, pet, pet. Come on. Let the stream see you. Let them see you scream. Scream. This is the buddy. He is Scream.
Out to as many people as possible that, you know, we just want to be free in a world that God created for his children, the sons and daughters of this earth. We are the kings and we are the queens. We are the head. We're not the tail. And they flipped everything around on us. And I think for Christmas,
Professor Daddy, thanks for 29 months.
one of the most amazing things is that this world wake up. This world wake up and begin to experience the abundance that God meant for our earth and for our children to experience.
That's right. And just speaking back to hope for 2025, all this talk about getting rid of the Department of Education, all those things that you just spoke of about the power of our words. Of course, we're not going to learn about that in the education system. Who created that education system?
Exactly, the Rockefellers.
A lot of wealthy industrialists had a hand in the American educational system and the public education system in the beginning because it was a way of using public funds to educate the public so that they could have workers that would be more educated. So yes, you can argue that there are some ill incentives there where they were effectively looking to make it cheaper to get people who could do math and writing and reading. But it's an overall good thing that we have a more educated populace due to the public education system. There are a myriad of problems with the public education system, but the solution to fixing them is not to get rid of the public education system. We've tried that. It's bad. Not having a public education system is bad. Goth Geek Gaming says Soundwave may have a frequency, but it's hard as hell to understand. Is this Soundwave from... Yeah. And then Fennikagami says, what is it with conspiracy wingdings and coming up with the most boring world building ever? Like, you'd think their detachment from reality would free them to have the most creative stuff, but instead it's people who have a deep understanding of reality that are creative, like Terry Pratchett. I think it's because you need to have an understanding of how things work in order to come up with ways they don't work. Does that make sense? You don't know how to world build in a way that makes sense unless you know how the real world is built, at least a little bit. Does that make sense?
So
you don't know what you don't know.
Down with a new system and up with a new system where we're tapping into our gifts, because we've talked about this before. We all have a gift. We've all got something that we might be the best at it and might not even know it. So let's make our education centered around tapping into those gifts and making the world a better place with them.
Yeah, I love that.
Let's go.
One gift that you got, just growing up, your love for arts and acting and,
Overthought says it's almost like they want to use weaponized incompetence as a way to stick it to capitalism. Can't exploit me if I'm too dumb to train. So weird. That's not their motivation. They think that education is indoctrination. They think that education is a net negative. I think in part because they recognize that education hasn't necessarily served them. Maybe they aren't the most educated. So instead of saying, oh, I lack something valuable, they just say, that thing is not of value. I don't lack something of value, education. Education is useless because it's just indoctrination. I didn't need it anyway. You can't fire me. I quit. That kind of, idea.
Theater. Some of you may have seen a video that we put out. Aaron and I put together a skit. We're calling it KNL instead of SNL Saturday Night Live. It's Karan Night Live.
Oh yeah, they did a comedy sketch, which we're gonna watch in a little bit. Not good.
And we're going to start.
Buddy, hey, sweet. So many screams. I'm sorry. I know I'm interrupting the stream, but I must pet the boy and let him know he is okay. Hey, Amber, how's it going? You have missed Cat spouting absolute nonsense.
Start doing truth bombs with a comedic flair.
Truth bombs with a comedic flair. That's how you know it's insufferable.
That we'll be able to reach more people. And we're asking that if you could please, when you see these, to share them.
Oh, she's gonna do more. Let's actually we'll take a moment and watch the sketch. Since she brought it up, we'll watch the sketch right now. Cataspinda's foray into sketch comedy.
It's Karan Night Live with Cataspinda and
it can't even just be a sketch. Here's something I've noticed from conspiracy theorists and chuds in general. Everything is very, what's the word I'm thinking of? Trying to think other than plagiarism. Derivative? Everything's incredibly derivative because, again, I don't think they have the ability to come up with originality. So literally, it's not just that they're doing sketch comedy, they're literally doing their version of Saturday Night Live, even with the same exact kind of intro, with the same exact kind of music. You know what I mean? The originality stops at just taking thing that already exists and making it with them.
Aaron Derrick!
Hi, Sheriff Crossgree. So we are here today to talk about the mandates and our children.
Okay, great. I take loads of pictures with children at schools. I don't want you thinking I'm some kind of MTP. Did you know I've been shot at before?
No. Sheriff Croskery, we have corporations that are controlling the people. Just liken it to a McDonald's corporation. If you are a McDonald's employee, then you need to follow the rules of McDonald's, and you are the sheriff of Benton County, and you need to follow the rules of the county.
Stop talking. We are done with this meeting.
Wait a minute. What just happened?
Okay, so to be clear, if you're shooting a comedy bit, like this is Gene Souza, thank you for following, by the way. Not a good idea to have two people play the same part on opposite sides, because I don't know if you know this, a lot of comedy is about timing. So if you're doing the quote jokes here aren't funny anyway, but the timing is also fucking off because they're literally recording these instances completely separately and editing them together, because this is her boyfriend, of course, in the sheriff outfit. And he's also on the other side of the conversation. So they shot all of their stuff on one side and all of the sheriff's reactions as a completely separate thing and just edited them together. Now, it's possible to do this well, but it's a lot harder than just doing it live and editing it together, because the timing you can feel out if you're actually performing with another person. I just would never, I would never shoot a bit this way, because it makes no sense, and you wouldn't get the timing right easily. Nerdy says, fucking hell, Ryan George does better skits than this, and he plays literally every role in his videos. Benekagami says, why is it so hard to understand that private schools are only good because public education exists? By having a standard, you have something for people to run to when shit goes wrong. If public education doesn't exist, they can do whatever they want, and you have less power because a private school can tell you to fuck off. You think you have more power with the choice, but in reality, you hand the power to the school by giving them the right to turn you down. That's one of two. Second one's coming in.
You compared me to a McDonald's employee.
Wait, what? Hold on, I gotta...
Just happened.
You compared me to a McDonald's employee.
Kuleshov is spitting in his grave. What is this supposed to... Okay. Shot. Okay. He's in a wig. You called me a McDonald's employee. Cut to Walt Disney at a desk. Cricket chirping way too loud. What's the joke? I'm really good at interpreting visual media. I promise. It's my whole thing. What does this mean? I feel like I'm interpreting an ancient culture and I'm missing the Rosetta Stone. What could this mean?
No, actually,
This meeting is over.
I don't understand why you're so mad.
I'm not mad.
Well, you look mad.
I'm not mad.
You're acting like you're mad.
I'm not mad, but I will not be compared to a McDonald's employee.
Do you think you're better than a McDonald's employee?
No, but I will not be compared to one. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Sure. I am the Benton County Sheriff and I own this building.
You own this building.
I do.
Benekagami says, plus you incentivize them to hide stuff because they want your money. That's why the worst controversies happen in private schools, because they have to protect their reputation to get money. And frankly, a lot of private schools aren't even that good.
I own this building. I own the Benton County Sheriff's Office and everyone and everything in it.
Okay, I still don't... What is the Walt Disney for? What? Explain.
Do you know who I work for? Have you not seen my gun? I work for you. I work for the people. See? It says we the people right here on my gun.
Great. I'm glad you realized.
That's almost a joke. There's the pieces of a joke there. A cop rhetorically being like, I work for the people. And on his gun, it says some sort of, like, nonsense phrase about rhetorically being for the people, but it's directed towards the violence of the... Okay. There's almost a joke there. Do we get them half a point for almost a joke? Like, it's in there somewhere. You gotta carve away at it a little bit. But, like, it's in there. Janerdy says, this would have legit been more funny if he'd said, do you know who I am? Because I have no idea.
As you work for we the people. So let's just keep this meeting going, shall we?
Okay. Do you know the ex-sheriff Jerry Hatcher who was recalled? He was a really bad guy. I wrote HR and told them I am done with Jerry Hatcher because he was a meanie and he committed fraud against me. Even though I don't investigate fraud myself.
Little did I know. No, I've actually not met him myself.
I'm sorry, did you just put an aside in there? Like, you... This is like the room of comedy sketches. There's so much to dissect. She put in a side, a fourth wall break of her actual self in there in the comedy sketch to be like, get it? I think that this sheriff isn't investigating the fraud that I think is my house being repossessed. Oh my god.
I work for you.
It's like, see, right now, comedy sketch.
I work for the people. See? It says we the people right here on my gun.
Great. I'm glad you realize you work for we the people. So let's just keep this meeting going, shall we?
Okay. Do you know the ex-sheriff Jerry Hatcher who was recalled? He was a really bad guy. I wrote HR and told them I am done with Jerry Hatcher because he was a meanie and he committed fraud against me. Even though I don't investigate fraud myself.
Okay, this isn't part of the sketch. This is just Kat Aspinda breaking in through the fourth wall of the sketch to be like, I think that this real-life sheriff is a Nazi, because he wouldn't investigate my frivolous claims. You can't just break in to your sketch and be like, am I right, people? She's mugging to the camera, fourth wall in her own sketch.
Little did I know. No, I've actually not met him myself.
Yeah, you might want to read up on that in the Tri-City Herald. It's all there.
My main concern is the children and that we're being pushed into the New World Order.
Did you know that George Washington wrote a book about the New World Order all those years ago?
No, what book is that exactly?
I don't remember. Just know that there is a book out there. Somewhere. And he talked about it.
I get knocked down.
And then it ends with Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba for some reason. I can't play that, obviously, but that's Chumbawamba's Tub Thumping. You drink a whiskey drink, you drink a vodka drink. You drink a cider drink, you drink... That's gonna be stuck in my head now. Goth Geek Gaming says, have you seen Elon's war on MAGA? Would covering it be worthwhile? Also, I found this account. She's a Trump family adjacent, the Don's niece, but dislikes Donald. You wanted to check, if you wanted to check her out at some point. Well, thank you for the link. I've actually heard of her. Yeah, I might check that out at some point. I might cover it. In the new year, I might get back to doing Chud Watch occasionally. I haven't decided yet. Anyway, so then she does other images, well, yep, still playing Chumbawamba, edited photos of the sheriff with Ronald McDonald. Alright then. So that's her sketch comedy that she's talking about.
Because right now my channel has been highly censored, and the only way this information is going to get out.
Her channel has not been highly censored. She's on Rumble. What's happening is, oh, I should do an aside here and explain this. Her live shows are getting, choppy and cut off. And this might be because of her internet. It might be because she streams on Rumble, and Rumble is like a site that barely functions. I don't know. But anyway, she's got something to say to the people interfering with her streams. Because again, she thinks she is being attacked not just connection issues. She thinks she is being attacked. Fenekagami says, challenge to any conspiracy theorist, explain why a one-world order bad. How would world peace happen without some kind of one-world order? They don't want peace. They want whatever they want in their little pocket of the world. They want things to be like they were when they were children, whatever that means.
Sons and daughters, this is Kataspinda with One New Earth. And I was just doing a live Rumble Studio show regarding driver and the legal definition of a driver. And I was cut off about 10 minutes in. I'm actually going to push that off. I quickly jumped on here, so hopefully it's not getting stunted like my other one did. But a message for those who are messing with my Rumble channel and my live channel. I find it very interesting. And obviously, I am right over the target. If you want to continue to
Fun fact, life isn't a video game. Just because you're facing opposition does not mean you're going in the right direction. That's not how life works.
To stunt my shows, people are seeing through it and people are kind of sick of it. So anyways, I just wanted to say a quick message. I'm not able to re-upload what I just put out there. It got cut 10 minutes in.
Man, maybe you should use a program that lets you record your streams while you're streaming them. There's a lot of them.
Live shows have been getting cut left and right, although we have people like Dr. Disrespect who gets these.
It means bringing back Thundar the Barbarian. I have Thundar the Barbarian on Blu-ray.
Flawless, seamless.
They've been putting out a lot of the, some of the Hanna-Barbera stuff like that. They did Space Ghost. Frankenstein Jr. and the Impossibles is coming out next year.
Lives, apparently, for 2 to 3 hours at a time. And it doesn't seem like I'm having any problems here. So I just wanted to just apologize that this continues to happen.
I think the fun thing about being into, like, movies and TV shows as a fixation is there's so many sub-fixations within there. Like, I'm into movies and TV shows, but within that, I'm into horror. I'm into old comedies. I'm into Hanna-Barbera stuff. I'm into Rankin Bass stuff. I'm into tokusatsu now. Learning about it as I continue to go through, like, back catalogs of a bunch of tokusatsu stuff. Space Ghost Coast to Coast. No, that was later. The original Space Ghost. Where Space Ghost comes from. Space Ghost did not come from Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Space Ghost was a character in, like, the 60s and 70s. An actual, like, cartoon superhero show.
Be looking more into safeguards for my things because it just floors me that this continues to happen. But I think what somebody had said, it's when you're telling the truth, it's over the target. And between my subscribers, my viewership, and then my live streams getting cut, it's very obvious that this is being done on purpose. So again, I apologize for this happening. I'm going to be looking at more safeguards to get this fixed. And for those of you out there who are teetering with my channel, go get a life, okay? Go get a life.
Yeah, I'm confused. Do people think that the cartoon characters on Harvey Birdman and Space Ghost Coast to Coast are all original characters? All the characters from those shows, or at least the vast majority of them, are from old Hanna-Barbera cartoons. And they're being repurposed and giving a comedic slant. You're not familiar. How is Harvey Birdman even funny to you if you aren't familiar with those characters? That's so interesting. That's like half the jokes of Harvey Birdman is about who the characters are in their original show versus now. I'm so confused. How would you even get that show?
And be afraid of what's coming for you. For those who continue to censor the people who are telling the truth, there is a road that's being taken by many people. Many people see the scam. They see behind the curtain. They know what's going on. They know that we do not live in
Makes sense if you didn't like it. I'm just saying anyone who did watch it and didn't get it.
A world of reality, but a false matrix that has been used to blind us with. And those who are out there pushing and, giving tickets to drivers Drivers, just, you need to know what you really are. You're not a driver, you are a traveler. And so just look up the definition for that, and that is one employed. And whether these people like this message
You have a misunderstanding of that definition, Kat.
or not, I have the right to speak it.
I've actually not seen C-Lab.
And I am protected.
Boy, come over here. Come here. I will give you a gunshot. Poor buddy.
Under the First Amendment of the Constitution. But my rights come from God. So we need to be vigilant. We need to stand in the truth no matter what. And I just want to thank all of you for, I had, quite a few people that were starting to listen in that 10-minute time. And I'm sure there would have been many more. So anyways, I'm going to get back to that. I'm going to probably readdress it on Thursday of this week, and we'll go through it, maybe, and maybe not. I don't know. But whatever happens, we're going to continue to look into what's going on here, because I've been messed with just too long. It's getting very annoying. I'm sure as people who watch and listen to my video, you're probably getting annoyed with this as well. Again, very, very sorry. But thank you all. God bless you. Keep the faith. God wins. And these people who are hurting people in the system are going to have a very, very rude awakening when they find out that they are on the wrong side of history, following these rules, codes, mandates, statutes, ordinances, policies, procedures, all of that, when it was done, without the permission or the consent of the governed. And that's us. We, the people, are the ones who pay the salaries of these public servants who've turned themselves into public officers, just to give it that tinge that they are over us, but they are not. And if you're listening to this, you are not over the people. We, the people, are rising up, and it's just a matter of time before.
Yeah, you tried to rise up by not paying your mortgage, and all that happened is you lost your house. So far, I'd say the score is 0 Cataspin 1 whatever thing you think is evil and stopping you from living your life.
Or people start bringing out the gallows. High treason is being committed against us. As long as we are being censored, we are not free. So anyways, thank you. God bless you. Again, I'm going to push this out. Maybe Thursday, maybe not Thursday. We shall see. And
all right, back to our Christmas video.
Is if you share the information. So if you could do that, that would be completely amazing. So we don't want to take up a ton of your time. This is Christmas Day, and there's families getting together and loved ones sitting by the fire or out in the snow. We are just all very, very thankful for you, for everyone who has supported our journey.
God bless you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And there are many people now who are beginning to see the truth. And as I always say, the truth shall set us free. And so it's very important that we start to, go towards the truth no matter what, because they want us to stay conditioned to
stay. Dr. Worm, thanks for 41 months.
Stay silent so that we never see freedom. And we have never been free as a country or even a world in our lifetime. But again, I believe and I know that we are moving towards the new earth, and we're just so excited. So we just want to thank you so much for being with us and supporting us. And before I want to go ahead,
Cat wouldn't recognize the truth if it bit her. The truth, the truth repossessed her house. It worse than bitter.
Really quickly, if you've not seen that video of us and our little skit, we want to add that on here. So we're going to do that really quick. So here we go.
And that's just the skit we already saw. Okay. It's time to see. This is really what I wanted to do today. I'm excited for this one. This is Marcel's Christmas message. And oh boy, Marcel's doing great.
Hi, everybody.
I checked it. I don't believe he says any slurs or anything, at least not the N-word or anything like that.
My Christmas message to the world. First of all, I don't celebrate Christmas. The way that I feel about Christmas is, first of all, if you have Santa Claus in your Christmas,
Hold on, it's a little quiet. I gotta turn this up more. This is worthy of hearing.
Hi, everybody. This is my Christmas message to the world. First of all,
keep an eye on all of these things in the background. These are all AI-generated images. Marcel has entered his AI phase. Marcel has discovered the dystopian wonder that is AI. And oh boy, does he love it!
Celebrate Christmas. The way that I feel about Christmas is, first of all, if you have Santa Claus in your Christmas, cancels out the Christ part. Santa is literally Satan. Just take the N, move it to the end, right? So keep that in mind. The main topic of this video, though, is I have not.
Is Marcel gonna claim Greenland as his property? Ooh! Ooh! New game idea. I'll have to put this together. Who said it, Marcel or Trump? And it'll be short quotes. And you gotta figure out who said it, Marcel or Trump. That would be a hard game, I think. Harold Evelman with the 20 stream streak says, the unmitigated caucasity of this we were never free shit from these two privileged and well-off white people who chose every bit of their entirely avoidable consequences needs sunscreen in order to handle a nightlight. No kidding.
20 years. Not that I don't work, but I just mean I haven't had a job or a boss. I stand under freedom, rights, private law, being a sovereign.
Wait, what was that last one? I gotta see the AI. He really put the last one out in it bad. Freedom, rights, privatine, man, woman. Freedom, rights, privatine, man, woman. It tried to combine private and sovereign. Privatine, man, woman.
I have money all the time. Literally 20
Look
years.
at all those Canadian dollars. Dollar bill, eh?
I was 25, maybe a little before 25. I got into the weed industry. And then at 29, I founded my own private law society, which is Peacemaker Society, which I run to this day. So 25, I'm 45 now. That's exactly 20 years. And I have some really successful friends that I talk.
When I'm 45, I hope I can do a completely deranged video on stream wearing gold chains and a bathrobe. I really want things to fall apart. That'll be fun. Goth Geek Gaming says, taking Christ out of Christmas, Marcel. MAGA got you beat. Probably AI picture, but this is a thing they're doing. Mary MAGA miss.
Talk to who are about to start getting into this that I've known since high school, and they still have jobs. You know, they still have a boss who pays them that determines if they are going to have money or not. Jobs are called just over broke. They also divide your family. They make it that your children are alone every day. And so now that I have AI up, I'll show you guys the AI in a few minutes here. I'm just going to let these run in the background for now. But now that I have AI...
Oh, that's like maybe a Viking with a freedom shield? Buddy, come here. Do you want attention? I will give you attention. Come on, sweetie. Come on. Come on. Poor buddy.
I don't need people anymore. I don't have to convince staff if what I do is right or not, or if I want to like them or not, or if I have a bad day and I get grumpy. I no longer have
AKA, he can have freakouts and call the AI the N-word, and it won't leave him like all of his former employees.
Perfect for you guys anymore because I'm creating...
Isn't that just over broke an MLM line? It's an old joke. Calling a job just over broke, that's like a very, very old joke. I have seen MLMs use it. He's also using it, which makes sense because he's basically, his whole scheme is a sovereign citizen MLM thing. So that makes sense.
AI avatar that will be me, but it will be perfect for you guys all the time.
If you didn't hear that, Marcel said he's working on making an AI of himself. He's making an AI Marcel. If he successfully creates a Marcel AI, I will have the AI on stream, and we will chat and see what we can get it to say. Just a Peach with $1 tip says, Marcel is a year younger than me and looking at least 10 years older. That's weird. He has had a rough 20 years, I would say.
So this really comes down to moral fiber. The legal system is satanic, literally. I actually have the dictionary definition that legality is the removal of God's law.
What book says that? What book did you get that from? I like that his smug look too, like, did you know that? I read it on paper, so it's true. Buddy, stop. Okay. Dream. Come on, buddy. Come up here. Yeah, come on. Buddy.
Fact. It's from old encyclopedias that they don't share with people anymore.
It's almost like encyclopedias stop being correct after a while. Weird. Puka, thanks for 49 months.
So if you're choosing to work in the legal system and a job, if you're like Ken of Ken Lucier, who is not prepared to do things for money and then wants to give me crap as somebody that I'm teaching for almost nothing. $90 a month is nothing, you guys. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, $10 tip.
Angie.
That's an entire month of my time to somebody. And somebody like Ken, I gave my time to without even charging him for it. And then when an opportunity comes up, we're starting a Accepted for Value study club. Because I don't really believe in accepted for value, but everyone else does. It is a real process, but it's basically...
It isn't. The accepted for value thing is it's basically the sovereign citizen thing where you think you have a secret trust account in your name that the government sets up and you think you can pay bills using it. It also is used to ignore official government summons sometimes. It doesn't work, to be clear, and it's nonsense. It's just a thing that some sovereign citizens believe.
Slave way of getting out of paying your bills. But if people want to do that, Ken was doing it anyway, so we set up a study group, and I monetized it. I made it that people were giving a gift to attend, and 15 minutes before he changed his mind.
Is it a gift if it's mandatory?
Like, I don't want to do a study club, and I don't think people should pay for that, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, you're working your legal slave job, supporting Satanism. So to all the God-fearing people out there, I'm going full God mode going forward. Not that I'm God, but just standing under God's law.
Oh no, he's going full God mode. No one can stop him.
Because so many people out there miss the point. Claiming your rights isn't about getting stuff for free. It's not about getting property for free and stealing from other people. It's about standing under God, so you're not under legal Satanism, right? Claiming your rights. And then you have a society so you can earn a private law living, right? And then you don't have to sell your kids to the legal system anymore. You don't have to sell out your own ambitions or family to go work a job.
Hold on, he's pulling on the the internet cord. That's not a good thing to do. Don't pull on that. By the way, to the person who kept telling me to use wireless headphones, I've done it.
And something else I want to mention, I know I've mentioned many times in past videos about being sad.
I
about
really
my
am
family.
sorry I keep having to interrupt for the cat, but like, frankly, it's a living being in the room with me, so it takes precedence. I'm trying.
And stuff. Nobody left me. Let me be very clear on this. Nobody left me. I left them because they are not smart or functional as people.
Now, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I think maybe some projection is going on here.
The family I grew up in, very alcoholic, and I refuse to live an addictions lifestyle. Same thing right now. I'm starting to date a girl who has, honestly, some drug habits, and her whole family is in that industry, and I won't tolerate it. I honestly do have deep feelings for her, but I told her, I'm like, if that's going to be your life, then stay out of mine. Same thing with my parents. They're alcoholics. They chose that, and staying ignorant about the world rather than loving their family and doing the right thing. The first time I was ever arrested was because I dumped my stepfather's alcohol out to try and help him. And he actually had me removed from our home at about 14 years old for that. So I am one of the smartest people on the planet, you guys. I have one credit in grade 10 for formal education. As a top sales producer at every job I ever had. They worked for me. I didn't view them as working for them because I'd quit. I used to go through 5 jobs a year because I wouldn't put up with having someone who thought they were my boss. I answer to God, and I'm smarter than the people I work for.
But they are literally your boss. If you're working there, they are your boss. Oh.
So within all of that, I am my own boss. I am freedom. I have freedom for everyone else. So
I am freedom.
if you guys decide not to do this, it really doesn't affect me, but you're all going to get wiped out in the next few years by the legal system. Next year, robots and AI are going to be taking most of your jobs, just like they are with Amazon and the warehouse workers getting laid off. Go check out that video. The robots are in the warehouse doing all the work. People aren't needed for labor anymore. As soon as the robots are all programmed, and as someone who's been an entrepreneur and a manager my whole life, most people suck as employees. But I'm trying to come at this from you guys. So this is really about your soul not being for sale. If you work a legal job, you sold your soul. If you pay your taxes, you sold your soul. If you celebrate these holidays because you're at work all year and then you finally get time with your family, it's slavery's joke on you.
He's fooling
Every day
himself.
should be a holiday.
What do you mean by he just hit commission, Trey? I've never worked in a job with commission before, so what do you mean?
You should have your family around you all the time. Now, I chose God and God's path over everyone and everything, and I don't regret it for a second. If I had stayed with my biological family, I would be abused every day by my stepdad, treated like I'm the problem when they're a bunch of moron alcoholic pieces of crap.
I understand that. I grew up with alcoholic parents, so, like, I totally understand that, and I left that situation as soon as I could, too. So I totally understand that. But I also feel like talking about it this heavily at 45 as if it is, like, Like, he's talking about this as if it is a present problem. Like, it's fine to have trauma and to talk about your trauma. Maybe this isn't the right avenue for it, like an public internet post, but, like, it's his life. He could do what he wants. But, like, I get it. I understand having trauma related to, like, parents with addictions. I have them myself. But, like, at 45, you're talking about this like this is the most present problem in your life? I don't know. I think he hasn't worked through this. That's a shame. Trey says some sales jobs try to keep their employees in a positive mindset is possible, so they do the corporate equivalent of love bombing their employees, and if they hit commission, they tell them they're a top producer. Ah, I gotcha. He needs therapy. We all do, but yeah, he definitely does. Buddy, stop chewing on the cord. No, no, no. No, no, no. Stop. I think he has realized chewing on the cord makes me react, which is not good. I can't not react, but I also don't want to enforce this behavior.
Period. They have some wonderful redeeming qualities, but the systems for their life are garbage. privatelawtrust.org is how you get
We
out
do
of
have some of that bitter spray stuff.
the legal system, which is satanic. It's how you say my soul is not for sale. And look at these. These are our ads that I just had AI create. I used to have to spend $100 to $200 for each of these. And now this is all just already paid
It used
for.
to cost you $200 to get you to make someone make one image like this?
I already bought the program.
Thank you, Baha. Hey, buddy, stop. Stop. Seriously. I don't know why I say seriously. Like the cat will be like, oh, you see, she said seriously. That'll do it. Buddy, gotta stop. I gotta do a show. I gotta do a show. You don't even know you're on the internet because you don't know the internet exists because you're a cat.
Per year. So I don't need people anymore. And I'm going to be much happier now because I'm building my real world. For the last 15 years, I've given up building any kind of personal life to bring you guys freedom. And I know some people love me, some people hate me. I don't care either way. Obviously, I'd rather have people like me. But the people who judge me, it's like my family. They're weak alcoholics that are too weak to change. But ultimately, you're the one who suffers if you don't learn. Again,
Is he implying that everyone who criticizes him is an alcoholic? That's not how that works.
20 years, I've never had a job or a boss.
It's like he's transferring the trauma with his parents onto everyone who disagrees with him. Fenekagami says, good news, everyone! My dog seems to have recovered from the attack last Friday. Her swelling is down. She's eating and walking normally. Some wounds still need healing, but otherwise all good. Also, I had a Marcel in my roleplay group. He had to be the coolest, strongest character. He told stories of a litany of skills that he couldn't have had because he's too young, and the games are more fun without him, I bet.
Not once. And I've made 15,000+ a month for a very long time, and the society work.
I doubt most of that comes from this scam. It comes from the fact that you grow weed, which is fine. Just do that. That's fine. Grow weed. I don't care. Stop doing this scam.
Automating all of it is going to go through the roof.
Buddy,
Unlimited funding, pretty much.
no. Absolutely not.
And so through that, this is why I'm doing videos like this. You guys, rights, right? These are the bad guys. People have the right, and screw these masks. Look at this. We got grandmas, freedom, rights, private law, sovereign.
Look at this. We got AI grandmas. Marcel, you don't have grandmas. You don't have grandmas. These are fake grandmas. These are counterfeit grandmas. You can't say we have grandmas and then point to AI grandmas you made. Freedom, rights, private law, sovereign, sovereign. Freedom, rights, private man. That's what the signs say.
Period. I know before it was scary, and I know the way that I go about doing this because I challenge the system might freak some of you out, but it really is.
In order to get Hannah's attention back, do we need to mess with the internet? If you guys come to my house and chew on my Ethernet cord, that would probably get my attention.
Financial planning tool.
Not in a great way, but like I would notice.
If you don't challenge the legal system, in general,
Watch
they
out.
will leave you
Right
alone.
there.
And then you don't pay taxes.
He escaped. He got downstairs. He's getting really good at it, I'm telling you.
I just went to apply for a possible apartment, and the guy wanted 2 years of tax receipts or income tax. And I don't pay income tax. My income on my statement is 0 because it all goes through my society. So I told the guy,
So Marcel's doing what we call fraud. He's doing tax fraud. On the cord. Not close to the cord, but like. Thank you. There we go.
I earn more than you do. Are you stupid? I told him only slaves pay that. And anyone who doesn't learn this I'm going to laugh at you guys going forward. I don't care. If you guys want to stay losers, you want to stay a citizen slave working a job, then that's your fault, your problem. But remember, you're standing under Satan. To all the people out there who are priests and preachers or just go to church, you're Christian, Muslim, whatever. When I was in remand and there was a Sikh, East Indian religious guy there, and I told him, I'm like, you're under Satan here. And he just looked ashamed. It doesn't matter what religion.
I don't know if he was ashamed. I think he was probably more like, oh no, there's a unhinged guy in front of me. That's a shame.
Your background is, you need private law in order to protect yourself. And that is true. What's back there? I'm not going to say it because I'm going to try probably putting this up on YouTube as well. If I say that word, they'll take it off YouTube. But that's where we're on Rumble. Anyone watching this, if it is on YouTube, we are on Rumble.
Amber says, also, most jobs will not be replaced by generative technology in the foreseeable future. If you look at the data, thank you. If you look at the data, a lot of the tech is entering what is provocatively termed as... He got out again. The tech is entering what's provocatively termed as the incest spiral. My favorite Junji Ito book. That is, so much of the freely available data is stuff that was already AI creating a feedback loop. Moreover, automation would not be a bad thing if we adjusted our economy with things like UBI and other welfare programs. We could work half as much as we do now. Yeah, I'm pretty of the opinion that if we did ever actually develop technology that could replace human labor, they're not going to share. They're just going to kill all of us or wait for all of us to die because they think the only actual humans are rich people. Because rich people are myopic assholes who view us all as work cattle. So I'm not, like, super optimistic about any of that.
I've made it with no help from anyone, not from family, not from friends. I literally...
Like right now, rich people need poor people to do labor. If you can create actual robots someday that replace that labor completely, someone could theoretically win capitalism. And just everyone else can get fucked, and they don't care. They have robots to do it.
Did this on my own. And if you're smart, you'll do it for yourself too. Because if you don't, you're going to keep having to have slave holidays, and you're going to keep working in a satanic system. And I don't know if you guys saw this today, but Trump just came out. He's going to war with all the LGBTQ plus stuff, taken out of everything, because it's genital mutilation of children that they're encouraging.
Oh boy, no it's not. No it's not. Literally, minors do not get any sort of surgery. That's not what we're doing.
Which is obviously a crime. If you're an adult and you're into that stuff, good for you. Who cares? You want
not into that stuff. It's not into anything. You're just trans or you're not. What are you talking about?
Satanic, you go right ahead. Never be a part of my community, but you have that right. Within that though, anyone with a brain who wants to not have a job in the next 20 years or for the next 20 years, privatelawtrust.org. We're going to put you through allratesreserveduniversity.org. I'm revamping everything by spring. All the AI will be on there. It's up right now. You can still go through it, but we're making massive improvements. And I'm going to have unlimited money really soon, because what's hard for me, I've studied entrepreneurs and success my whole life, the rich of the rich. And in sales, I could always make as much money as I wanted. So what's hard for me having clients is hearing you guys whine about your jobs, that you don't have enough money because you work a job, and then for some of you, if opportunity comes up, you do take it. Those are the ones I respect. And for all the ones who are out there just not learning your freedom, you're making the world satanic, and shame on you. I'm very proud of myself. I don't care if
shame on you for making the world so satanic.
I don't care if I've used extreme antics in videos to wake you guys up.
Antics? He says calling people the N-word is antics? I don't think you know what antics are. If you want antics, go watch a comedy film. This isn't antics.
Honestly, I'm not out there punching people out because they're evil. And that's good on me. So within that, if you are satanic, know that God is coming to check you through those of us who are God's angels on earth. And
wait, why is that one? Why did he make an AI image of a hunky muscle man with soul not for sale on him? And he put this in his thing. He didn't have to. He could have said, that's a mistake. I'm not going to put that in my slideshow. But he said, no, hunky AI muscle man. That's good. That's good advertising.
Under God.
Are sovereign citizens ANCAPs as well? It depends on the individual. They have different political beliefs depending on the person.
In the Bible, all angels aren't nice, right? So within that, I'm not out here to be violent. It's not worth going to jail for any of you. Although jail was honestly like camp. It wasn't really a big deal at all. It was a vacation. And I always...
There's another one! There's another hunky man! What is Marcel doing? Also, there are muscles on this man that have yet to be identified by science because they're made up by AI. Tea Time T says, those of us who are God's angels on Earth, man, this sure is some delusion. Yeah, it is. Under Marcel's system, how is it obviously a crime? If I have a title to my kids, wouldn't Marcel say I can do whatever I want to them? Like, sure, horrifying, but still, seems like he hasn't thought his system through past his own phobias and biases. He thinks that he's the muscle man. He's a Tate fan, remember? Oh, okay, it's supposed to be aspirational? Okay.
Bills. I can afford to pay my own bills. No one pays my bills for me. No one pays the society bills for me. And that's where all of you out there who think freedom should be free, you're dumb. Nothing's free. If you want to actually have infrastructure and run as a real government, you're going to need money, lots of it. Money matters.
Wow. It's almost like that's what taxes are for, that you avoid via fraud.
Not the love of money. You don't want to worship money. But this $1,000, I can produce a bunch of shirts that say sold not for sale. I can start programs. You need funding in order to fight the legal system, which is satanic, period. How much does it cost to go to court? It costs me nothing because I have no personal income and I can use legal aid. But for most of you, of course, very expensive. So to anyone with a brain...
Filing, I don't know how it works in Canada, in fairness, but in the United States, when you file lawsuits and you get, you can file in forma pauperis, I think it's something like that. It basically means you're filing as a poor person, and they waive filing fees, but that also means that your cases and motions can be denied much more easily. So I don't know if that exists in Canada, but I would guess something similar exists.
Privatelawtrust.org. Learn God's law and how to stand under it. Every time you show legal ID, you say God does not exist to you because you abandon your rights for legal rules that are satanic by definition. There's no soul in anything corporate. The whole legal system is corporate, hence satanic. So the title of this video is going to be 20 years since I last worked a job because I'm a sovereign. It's true. You can see already the ads that are coming. We have them pre-programmed through AI and they get auto-posted on our social media. I don't have to send door-to-door teams out anymore. I might still, but honestly, long run, I'll just get a robot to drop off flyers at all your houses or drones or whatever.
I'll just get a robot. If your future business plans entail you buying a humanoid robot, I don't know. Is that really a good business plan right now? I understand that humanoid robots that can do certain tasks are a thing and will be a thing in the future, but like, right now, your business plan includes buying a robot to do labor for you?
So that's what I'm sick of. You know, I don't hate anybody, but I hate peasant mentality. People that are too lazy to figure out how to earn their income themselves. You know, you go to a job, you put in half-assed work, you know, you get paid whatever you get paid. That's not enough. You pay taxes, which steals from you. You know, you're paying 30 to 50% in taxes right now between income tax and everything else. I don't. People I teach don't.
Yeah, that's fraud, man. You're committing fraud.
Freedom, rights, private law, right? This is what you need to stand under. And until you do, you're going to stay a slave citizen. You're going to stay a wagey, as Andrew Tate says, and a brokey, as Andrew Tate says. So my life's not...
I'm sorry. I kind of understand how, like, a 14-year-old dumb kid would maybe get sucked in by the Andrew Tate rhetoric because they don't know better and maybe they're desperate for some sort of role model. And, like, their burgeoning testosterone makes them think really stupid things are good ideas. How? How, as a 40-something-year-old man, do you listen to Andrew Tate and go like, yeah, that guy knows what life's about?
affected in any negative way. And
How do
yes,
you not pay taxes? Fraud. He's committing fraud. He's committing fraud.
freedom takes money. That's why you have to be able to earn money.
Long
And to
story short, he's basically opening some sort of Canadian equivalent of a non-profit and then taking all of his income and putting it through the non-profit bank account instead of his personal bank account to avoid taxes. He's committing fraud, and he's teaching other people to commit fraud.
all the freedom groups out there who can't self-finance or organize industry to make money, you're not a real answer either. And that's why I'm ahead of you guys. So within that, thank you guys. This is my Christmas message. It's been 2
Why
years.
admitted online? He doesn't think what he's doing is wrong. He basically thinks he found a infinite money hack, but it's fraud. And he also sells people this as like you pay me $90 a month and I'll teach you how to never pay taxes again. So he is both committing fraud and charging other people money to teach them how to commit fraud, but he's not framing it as fraud. He's framing it as like this secret trick the government hates.
20 years.
He so desperately wants people to think he's cool. He and Elon are similar like that. I think they have a similar desperate need to be seen as, you know, oh, you guys can hear them row?
I've had a job and I will never have a job again. So I essentially retired from jobs at 25 with a grade 9
It is the boy doing the yelling.
education. That's how wonderful I am. And I didn't do this for the money. I did it because it was the right thing to do. So that's why I'm kind of hard on the people who I have to bribe or try and pay to do this process. I paid for this process because it was the right thing to do. And I hope that bottom of my heart, let me take these off for a second. Bottom of my heart, I love all of you. I see God's light in all of you. But right now, most of you have been tricked to use the legal system, which is satanic.
Not
And the rest of you are just
satanic, and they
immoral.
haven't been tricked.
And don't care. When I walk by people on the street that I can see wearing satanic symbols,
How does he get on with the other cats? He doesn't. We have them separate because we need to get him tested for like feline immunocompromised syndrome, whatever it is, and feline leukemia virus.
thing in me not to physically
So
attack.
until like vets and stuff, a lot of them are closed and stuff. The shelter that we're talking to through him was going to do the stuff for free, but I don't think they're going to be able to at least until like the first of the year. So we haven't been able to actually like let him into most of the house.
them and hurt them. I don't, because I have a peace oath. And that's another thing. The society gave me a peace oath at 29, because before that I enjoyed using violence against bad people. And bad people do deserve violence used against them. And as we set up in neighborhoods, know that even
Hello,
though
Canadian Mounties, is this a threat?
obviously
Rescue, not shelter, sorry.
I can't physically cause harm, as our budgets and governmental authority grows, anyone who is the old system, we will launch peaceful war against you. Look in
We will launch peaceful war!
your backgrounds, what you do.
How do you even say that and not realize what a self-parody you are? Peaceful war. We are going to launch peaceful war. What does that mean?
And once I have unlimited funding, there's no limit to how we can go into people's lives to see if you're criminal or not and correct you if you are satanic in the way that you're operating. Because you're causing harm. Heaven on earth is on its way, and God's warriors are here. So if you truly believe in God and you truly have morals and you love your kids, go to privatelawtrust.org, get a hold of me, 204-899-7334. Email us privatelawtrusts with an S on the end at outlook.com. So this can be you. Stop earning, here, let me put these back on. Stop earning slavery dollars. Okay, these are all freedom dollars, meaning I've been free and I use them to fund freedom. If you're working a legal slave job, you're supporting the satanic system. Your energy is building Satan's house, and you're broke because of it. Claim God's law and abundance will come to you. If
Boy,
you follow my
he doesn't
direction.
care about the bitter spray at all. Stop it! He stopped chewing, but he's still like pawing at them.
And honestly, most people in my life are not worth helping that I've met. I see the goodness in them from God, like my family and many of my friends over the years. Most of them choose the wrong way though. And I will never bow to Satan. I will never bow to stupidity. And I would much rather be alone in my life with money, bunch of nice stuff, than be sitting there with satanic people who are just evil.
Well, that's depressing.
And within that, I'm not alone. I got friends all over the place. I got connections all over the place. I have global contacts. And as soon as I finish programming 15 years results into all our AI here, man, it's a whole new ball game, you guys. I'm so excited about this year. It's not even funny. And I'm just going to show you guys here, just to prove my point. These are actual payouts from our website. As you guys can see, money, 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 money. Money, 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 freedom dollars, God's dollars, right? It's not from Satan. And that's not even including direct e-transfers. You can pretty much triple these figures for last year. So within that, yep, true that. So thank you guys very much for your time. Again, it's been 20 years since I worked a job. Pretty much guarantee most of you can't say the same. And if you're an entrepreneur in business, you're still satanic because you need to come over into private law, unregistered, unincorporated, so you're not funding the satanic system. Not saying you can't use the legal system, but you have to do it with all rights reserved under God with the paperwork to back it up, or you're literally funding the satanic system, period. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I don't celebrate holidays. I don't do Christmas or any of that. I love the people in my life every day. If they're worthy of it, all the people I left behind deserve to be left behind, and I'm very happy I left them behind. I wish they would have upgraded and come with me, but if you're going to stay a loser, you're not welcome in my world. Losers are not welcome near me, especially if you're born to lose loser and that's the choice you choose. If you're given the tools to succeed and overcome
How has he not
slavery-
been arrested yet? Is the Canadian equivalent underfunded as the American IRS? I don't know. People get away with a lot of stuff, unfortunately. I don't know.
and you actually put your heart and soul into it, you'll make it. If you're a coward, if you bow to the legal system, you're going to burn in hell. And if you don't believe in any of that, so be it. Your own life will be your punishment, because you're just going to have crappy people around you. People who rob from you, steal you from you, rat you out against the legal system because they're pieces of crap, they're brainwashed. And if you work a legal job, you're a loser. Understand.
Telling 99% of people they're losers is such a funny Christmas message. Merry Christmas, everyone. You're all losers. You're all fucking losers working for a satanic system.
And you're not even smart enough to come up with the ability to sell something to stay at home and raise your kids. You know how many Amazon products there are? You know how much free stuff you can get off Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace and flip for free. There's a guy, he bought couches. He get them all for $100 or less, sell them for $300 or $400, and he literally funded his own marriage from that. There's so many ways to make money. You've just been trained to be a
I
peasant.
don't know what he means. Benny Kagami says billionaires should fear the robot overlords more than anyone, since there's no logic a computer could use that wouldn't conclude a billionaire is pointless waste without massive bias. You don't think they would program a robot with that bias?
Which makes you a loser in life. I don't want you to lose in life. I have love in my heart for you. I cared enough. I recorded my
RoboCop's fourth directive.
results so you can follow it. But if any of you think, even if you're my client, I'm going to sit there in your reality and bend to it like you're right and that's the path, you're a joke. And your life is a joke. I may not have my family from the past because they're a bunch of losers, which they are. They stayed alcoholics. They're genetic defects. Fuck them all. Trying not to swear, but really F my old family. You know, none of them cared enough to see if I was ever okay. I overcame all of them.
Calling anyone a, quote, genetic defect is big Nazi vibes.
I'm so proud of myself that I did, because look at where I am in life. I literally run my own sovereign empire. to cultural
He's the sovereign empire.
empire, cultural nation. We don't have to have land borders to exist all over the place. That's been proven for a very long time. So to people who sit there and try and pretend like it's not, we're 100% real. And to any experts out there who
This
say
meme is very real.
we're not real, my results prove reality. We've been accepted by banks, the legal system, Manitoba Social Assistance. You know, I'm just going to put all the results on the website because I'm tired of trying to justify it. If you're so stupid that you can't see that I'm successful, made it 20 years, I'm still here, legal system has never charged me with fraud, nothing bad, unless of course I threaten the Prime Minister or the RCMP, which I was right to do with private law. I don't regret that at all.
Remember when he got arrested and sent to jail for threatening the Prime Minister?
I love every second of that experience. I won't do it again because I'm not giving them leverage, but just know the marketing we have is perfect. I'm one of the best salespeople on the planet. The only reason sometimes people don't like me now is because I tell them to go F themselves because I get tired of stupid mentalities interacting with me. I would never spend time with somebody stupid or someone who's immoral. Literally, like, it wouldn't work. If I was trapped in a jail cell with them, I'd be charged with assault at some point. Luckily, I can always control my circumstances because, again, I don't have a job, I don't have a boss. I answer to myself and God. And I have so many clients, if I have a problem with one, I just let them go. And I'm not sorry for that. I'm the value. Keep in mind, when I was young, I'm the guy who protected our family. When I was a teenager on the streets, I was the guy who protected everyone. When I was in the weed community, I'm the guy who made the money. I'm the guy who got the clients. Private law, I'm the guy who figured it out. I went further than Robert Menard or any of the other guys out there. You know, they each played their part, but I took it all the way. And now I'm going to keep taking it all the way. And I'm so excited. Unlimited budgets mean we're going to take over neighborhoods with helpful programs. And if you don't learn, you will be held accountable. You work a legal job, you will be held accountable for the harm that you cause. Indigenous private law courts are coming. They outrank the legal courts in the Supreme Court of Canada. It's proven in case law. So learn or it's your ass. Because I promise you, once I have unlimited funding, you'll all be going to court. You'll all...
Once he has unlimited funding, you're all going to court. Once I have unlimited funding, pizza for everyone! What a weird... If I had infinite money, I'd get all of you. Okay, well, you're not gonna have infinite money. What are you talking about? That's not happening. So, make a practical plan.
I'll have private investigators on you. Anyway, I gotta follow God's path for me. Stop working a job for slavery dollars. Get into your freedom. Protect your kids. Be a man, be a woman. Women, know your role, support your man. That is your job to create life. Stop going to work jobs and destroying family. You're selling out your own family. That's crappy of you. And you wouldn't need Christmas if you're at home with your kids. And they wouldn't be getting turned into gay people convinced to chop off their genitals if they weren't abandoned to schools. I don't remember who it was exactly. I think it was Plato. Sun Tzu, Art of War. Only a fool would allow his enemy to train his child's mind. Stop being a fool. I don't care if that offends you. You're literally satanic. You're in the legal system working Satan. Supporting Satan. You vote, you're supporting Satan. Private law, self-governance, that's how you stand under God's law, unregistered, unincorporated.
He's such a good salesman. Anything you do other than giving him money is satanic. Sold.
I'm living proof. And I'm done. I'm going back to my evening. Thank you guys very much for your time. We'll see you soon. Ciao.
I'm impressed that Marcel is in angry mode and he didn't say a single slur. He was so mad and he didn't say a slur even once. It's a Christmas miracle. Truly. I kind of want to look more into this guy. This is the guy we watched a while back who claims he's indigenous but isn't indigenous. Oh, did he do a song? A song.
8 long years now, bells ring, says QV versus men.
He stopped himself. I wonder if he's aware that he gets dinged on YouTube for that.
Never knew the difference between the two. My
Benekagami says, billionaires can't program and are bad at forward thinking. They succeed because the system is skewed in their favor, was set up thousands of years ago. However, as things keep changing faster, they have a harder time adapting because they refuse change, and things keep changing faster. It's why we're reaching the breaking point. I don't know about that. I think you're optimistic. And also maybe a little sci-fi-y, but whatever.
Den of thieves is led by one promised to be my friend and bride for eternity.
Thank you.
Your world explodes. You believe you're no longer free.
Why is the flag sideways? Doing a flag upside down is a symbol that you are in distress. Like, it's supposed to be reserved for, like, actual situations where you're in distress. But sovereign citizens and MAGA people have started using it for just, like, I don't like current political people in charge, so I'm in distress. It's basically a temper tantrum.
In the suffering, you'll emerge triumphantly.
Max Power, thanks for 100 bits.
Once you learn the truth behind the Title 4D. 22, listen clearly. The 21 and 23 mean free. You know what being a debtor means.
Good morning, friends. Wanted to share some wisdom with you. What I want you to do is I want you to refute everything that I'm telling you, okay?
Okay.
But if you listen very carefully over the next few minutes, this is going to blow your mind. These are some of the things that we are not taught in school, and some of the reasons why we're not, okay? So, when we were all born, we were born as state nationals, according to Title 8, Section 1101 Alpha 21. And 23 means conferring the status of a state upon any.
If you're born in the United States or to a United States citizen or on United States property, you're an American citizen, not just a state national. You are an American citizen. That's the 14th Amendment.
Person after their birth. Go read it. So, when we were born that way, we were free. We were one of we the people, as defined in the Constitution. So, when our parents got us a social security number and birth certificate, we became U.S. citizens. What is a U.S.?
Nope, you were a citizen the second you were born, again, to either citizen parent or parents on United States soil. Yeah, 14th Amendment. You're wrong.
U.S. citizen. A U.S. citizen is property of a corporation. What?
Nope, it's not.
Corporation. The corporation is the United States, Inc.
Nope. The United States government is not the United States Inc. Nope, not a private company.
Based out of Washington, D.C.
That's the capital of the United States.
And this is conspiracy theory stuff unless you can't prove it. Then you're just a blind automaton that's listening and following whoever you're being told to follow because you're just used
Correct, Nemasar.
Complying. For people who are actually intelligent enough to do the research, what you will find is that that corporate entity is no different than any other corporate entity other than they're operating under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the Constitution, which gives them plenary authority to conduct operations during times of war. Whoa, what do you mean times of war? Go look it up. We have different versions of our flag. Our peace flag has only flown for 3 years.
The peace flag is that inverted color flag. It's never been of a United States flag. That's just a straight up made up thing conspiracy theorists believe. Fenekagami says, you may be right, but honestly, I'm not convinced true AI is even possible. Same. By the way, the thousands of years part was referencing that capitalism is an evolution of feudalism.
In the history of our United States, The flag that we have right now, the one with the red, white, and blue.
More of an evolution. I guess you could argue that there's like there's mercantilism in there. Between feudalism and capitalism, mercantilism's in there. In the middle, just to be clear.
Is our war flag. And when you go into courts and you see this gold fringe over that flag, that literally in nautical or admiralty or maritime law, that dates back to when a pirate ship would take another ship. They would sew a gold fringe around it and hang it beneath their flag.
I don't know anything about that. I don't think that's true. The gold fringe thing on the American flag, it doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. You can do it or not, but it doesn't mean anything in particular.
To show that they have taken this over. Well, doesn't that mean we're under Admiralty law? Bingo. Why? It's very critical you understand why and how this all happened.
They provide evidence for all that lore. No, see, they did something smart at the beginning of this, though, is he said, prove this wrong, and by that he rhetorically acts as though he doesn't have the burden of proof for all of these things. The second you're told, prove all this wrong, he's putting himself in a position where he is acting as though everything he's saying has already been confirmed. It's nonsense, it's not a real argument, but it is a rhetorical tool, which is pretty smart if you're talking to an audience of gullible people.
Okay? But when the states were formed in the Act
Yeah,
of
it doesn't make sense. I agree, Trey. It doesn't make any sense.
1841, they modeled the exact borders of the countries or territories at the time. So when Washington, D.C. and all of the subsequent things were formed 1871, by that time, in that act, everybody had gotten essentially handed over to this corporate agency. So by 1933, okay, when that finally happened, our bankruptcy, and they took away the silver and the gold.
The United States has
When
never
that
gone
happened-
bankrupt. The United States has never gone bankrupt. The United States has never gone bankrupt. This is the thing sovereign citizens will claim all the time about the bankruptcy of the United States. The United States has never gone bankrupt in its history. That is not a thing that it has done, ever.
They also gave us House Joint Resolution 192, Public Law 7310. Go read those. It says that you have the right to discharge all debts, that all debts are property of the U.S. government, that corporate entity in D.C., because they're operating and making us use their foreign money, which is funny money, which is called U.S. dollars.
The petrodollar is funny money. The primary currency of the planet Earth is fake money. Okay. This is just a gish gallop. This is just like so many claims.
Good morning, friends. Well aware of the flag in the background, there's a reason for that. Those who know, know. Let's start this off in the spirit of love and in the spirit of God in which it is offered. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Heavenly Father, please watch over us and bless us. Help us to be successful in all that we do. Allow us to receive this message in the spirit of love and wisdom and knowledge in which it is offered. In Jesus' name, amen. So, good morning, friends. What do I want to talk to you about today? I want to talk to you again about the Matrix. I want to be very clear about that. What is it? Well, again, we were brought up believing that government is government and that it is there to serve us. What we had no idea about is that it's literally just corporations. No different than Toys R Us, no different than any other company you can think of.
Nope, it's not. Your government is not the same as Toys R Us. Your government is not the same as a private corporation. They're entirely different in function and in form. They are different things.
They are a for-profit entity. So what does that mean?
They're not. The government is not a for-profit entity. What are you talking about? If the honestly, I'm gonna oh. 1 sec, sorry. It's not a for-profit entity, and if the United States was a for-profit entity, it would be terrible. We've been running a deficit for decades. It's not the function of government. What are you talking about?
That means they're out there to make money. A lot of other things that you've been lied to about, okay? Do you know why you have to pay taxes?
To fund the government. Max Power says, sorry, I wanted to attach this cleanse. I had a problem with fleas on this old lady too, as I got her a year ago. Make sure to clean their sleeping spot. A flea collar with permethrin helped, and I would suggest looking into treatment against tapeworms, as fleas often carry their eggs. Old cat on heating pad. Oh, cute. Yeah, we've been vacuuming the whole house every day, especially the spots that they sleep in. We have flea spray that's safe for cats but kills fleas. That we've been spraying in their places. We gave them all flea treatments. Yeah.
Because you agreed to it when you signed your name. Do you understand that? That's why you have to pay taxes. It's because it's an agreement.
You have to pay taxes because it's the law.
Now, I don't give tax advice, I don't give legal advice, but any scholars out there that wish to debate me on this, by all means, go ahead and weigh in on this.
What scholar? You're a random person on Rumble. No one's gonna take the time.
People which...
Trey, thanks for 56 months, says, damn, 56 months. Weird that didn't pop up earlier. That is a long time.
What you don't understand is that the Bar Association, all of these attorneys in every state, they're out there trafficking us. Whether it's our children in family law courts, or whether it's we as adults in these bullshit municipal courts and traffic courts. Well, what do you mean by that? We actually have a right to travel. Supreme Court has ruled on this numerous times. It's without question.
You do have a right to travel. You do not have a right to travel on public roads in an automobile. You have a right to go between the states without there being like a border check. You do not have the right to travel via car. A while back, a sovereign citizen actually tried to do this via plane. They got arrested for flying a plane without a license, and they tried this. You should read that on stream sometime.
Every district attorney in every state is aware of this. How do I know that, and how can I say that with a straight face? Because one, they're officers of the court, and they may not claim ignorance of the law because of that, okay? And second, it's because they're making money off of it. Let me say it again, they're making money off of it. What do you mean by that? Well, you go look on their website. If there is an all caps name there, and there's a so-called crime, but there's no victim, guess what? It's a bullshit, fraudulent scheme. That's it. They're out there vilifying people, pretending that we're criminals, so that the world at large believes that you have...
What did he get arrested for that he's upset about? Because he said we. He said we, implying that he had been arrested for something that he thinks had no victim.
...charge against you. Keeps you from getting jobs.
I know his kid was taken away, but I don't know what else.
Keeps you basically from exercising your freedoms. And that's the intent, people. That's why it's set up like this. This is how they control us. They have one of their agents that they call officers, okay, but they're...
Amber says the United States federal government can, by definition, do whatever it wants with you. The state has all the guns. That's what makes them a state. The ability and willingness to enforce their dicta through violent hierarchies.
Really corporate agents. They dress them up in a little uniform, they give them a badge, they give them a gun, and they say, go out here, and here's what you have to say when you stop them, and here's the reasons that you can stop them. This thing here called the Constitution that we teach you in your academy, we're only going to teach you what we want you to know, nothing more. We're going to have you believe that you have complete authority as soon as you put that badge on. You can violate anybody's civil rights with impunity, and guess what? Largely, when you do, we the prosecutors, we the judges, we're going to go ahead and back you. Why? Because you're our de facto civilian army. That's a fact. They're not there to serve us. They're there to fleece us. Now, I admire and respect what our law enforcement officers do, but it's time we start calling a spade a spade. They're not out there protecting us. They're out there to make money.
They're not out there to make money. I'm not going to sit here and act like cops are great and cops treat people well, but it's not the purpose necessarily of the police to make money. They certainly do have ticket quotas, and that's, like, fucked up. I get it. I don't like policing either. But his entire understanding of the motivation is, like, misplaced. He thinks there's an evil cabal at the top directing this, not understanding it's a lot of poor incentive sets spread out over an entire system that's causing problems in policing?
Again, they're out there to make money. You do not see officers changing tires on the side of the highway. You do not see them walking little old ladies across the roadway. Now, do you see them cleaning up traffic accidents and doing this sort of thing? Yes. And I appreciate and admire every one of those sacrifices. I want you to know that. I really do. But if that means that all of a sudden we lose our rights and you believe that you have the right to just stop us at will anytime you want to, that's tyranny.
Not any time they want. If you're doing a traffic violation or have some sort of vehicle infraction, like your tail lights out or something.
That's racketeering. Do you understand that? You're not out there doing any superhero, cape and boots sort of horse shit. You're out there being a de facto thug with a badge and a gun, fleecing people. I've lost friends over this. Cop friends. Why? Because they literally believe that it's okay to do that to your friends, to your family. Will they do that to their friends and family? No, probably not, right? But here's the rub. What about your kids? What about your grandkids?
Who wrote that, Amber? That sounds familiar.
Officers. You're creating that society for them to be slaves, literally. It's all great as long as you're wearing the badge, as long as you're the one that's out there stopping people and you do not have...
Alright, this is pretty basic Sobsit 101 stuff. Curious if he's done any... What else is he... How the cabal works.
Good morning, friends. This is Marcus-Troy:_Ream/
At least he's wearing a shirt this time.
/King/
Brennan Lee Mulligan. Oh, yeah. I saw that episode of, what was that? I saw that clip from, I think it was Roll 20.
Chief Motto of the Motto tribe of state nationals. What is a state national? I'm going to go over a few things.
This guy made up his own tribe. He claims he's part of the Sioux Nation, and he made up his own tribe. They do not recognize him. I don't think he's actually indigenous. Or at least not in a way that would be recognized legally or generally. Sorry, Dillis Filler. Dillis Filler says, I didn't know the job of the police was person doing general public niceties.
With you here today to kind of bring you guys up to speed on what we're facing in this country right now, especially myself in regards to this current case, or so-called case, 233-18201 in Kitsap County District Court. On Monday, 9 a.m., if you dial in, they usually make me wait till the last, so be patient. You're going to be able to watch human trafficking live, just like all of the government officials did 150 years ago to my family, my dad, all of my uncles. They all spent their youths as kidnapped prisoners of the U.S. government, who stuck them in Indian boarding schools in South Dakota, where they were raped and beaten and brutalized. What we're seeing in Kitsap County today is no different. Let me explain to you what's going on, people, okay? And I'm going to keep it very simple. And by the way, all of us who get labeled as nutjob conspiracy theorists or sovereign whatever, you know the difference between us and the people that are calling us those names? Is that we can actually show you in the law what we're talking about. We can prove it, okay? And the big difference is that we're not criminals, okay?
Yeah, that headdress is... Yeah.
You're out here looking at...
He has not earned... Whatever it is to earn that, he's not earned it. Jesus.
Your district attorneys, or you're looking at your judges, you have to remember that all courts in America are commercial courts. You're looking at a business transaction, a banking transaction. It has nothing to do with law and order, has nothing to do with keeping us safe, has nothing to do with doing anything on behalf of we the people. Every one of these courts, literally people, is part of the International Monetary Fund. I'm giving you the abbreviated version here, okay? All of these corporations are based out of Washington, D.C. Every state, as we know it, has a P.O. box at 44 Constitution Avenue in Washington, D.C. So wherever they are out here patrolling, which they do have plenary authority under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the Constitution, or Clause 9 or Clause 8, depending on how you're reading it, they do have authority to go out here and keep the peace, you know what I mean? Because people are engaged in commerce. They have the right to regulate, but not interfere with commerce. That's the difference. So why am I facing the fire down here in Kitsap County? It's because I, a Native American who was born on this continent in the territory known as Idaho, I made the grave mistake of believing that
I was born on this continent too. It doesn't make me indigenous.
Had some right to travel freely. I don't know where I got that from. Maybe Murdoch v. Pennsylvania, where the Supreme Court says no state may convert a secured liberty into a privilege and then charge a license and a fee to exercise it. Or Thompson, or other cases that the Supreme Court's been very clear on. So why am I in this court? It's because a bunch of human traffickers want to try to teach me a lesson. That's why.
They're human traffickers. Dillis Filler, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Much appreciated. And Valorant adds 3 bonus subs. Hell yeah. For those that don't know, it's 30% off on gift subs, and Valorant is adding extra gift subs to any amount. So I think it's over 5 and they add. So thank you very much.
They do not want guys like me educating people like you about your driver's licenses.
They're only 26 subs away from this month's sub goal.
They keep control over you. That's how they enslave us. Everybody who was born in this country is a state national at birth. We do not become U.S. citizens until we get a social security number and a birth certificate. That's when
those things can be proof of citizenship, but that's not when you have citizenship.
We become slaves. What do you mean by that, Marcus?
What about this month's Dom goal? I already have a Dom. I'm good. Should not have said that. I shouldn't have said that.
That corporate all caps name that they call the straw man, that's not fictional. It's a real thing. You can find it on your birth certificates.
Lukester,
there's a 12-digit number usually hand scrawled on there. That's called a QSIP number. That means that there's a bond out there in the market that's being traded with your name on it. That's the full faith and credit of the United States as we know it, people. That's how it works. Our entire economy is based on debt. There is no money. The definition of lawful money...
money is things that you can trade for good and service. It's a store of value. What are you talking... We absolutely have money. The debts that we owe to each other incentivize us to go out and do activities or sell things or engage in economic activity in order to, you know, make money. Oh, God.
According to the Constitution, is silver and gold. They took that away in 1933 intentionally and then converted us to corporations on paper so that we could never repay the debt. Because U.S. Treasury notes or U.S. dollars are tinder. That does not pay anything. Actual silver or precious minerals or...
I'm Rio Bop. Thank you so much for gifting 5 tier 1 subs and an extra 3 added by Valorant. Thank you.
Metals, they actually discharge the debt.
Lukester says, I was born outside of the U.S. on American property and peeps like me don't have birth certificates. I think that would blow his mind. I wonder what he would think.
So without getting into the weeds too much on this, here's what's happening.
On a hype train. 43% to level 4 on the hype train.
With every court charge, okay? When the officer writes the ticket, it's an invoice. What they want is they want access to your SESQV trust, where the sole...
No, they want you to pay the ticket or appear in court. There's no such thing as the SESDK trust that he's talking about. The SESDK trust is the account that sovereign citizens believe everyone has. Sovereign citizens believe that everyone has a secret account attached to their birth certificate or their social security card. That's an individual bank account that when you're born and when it's opened, millions, if not billions of dollars are placed in this account. This is usually used in scams that sovereign citizen gurus do. They'll be like, are you having problem paying your bills, paying your taxes, paying your house? Well, you don't need to use your actual money. You have this secret SESDK trust account that you can use to pay all your bills. You're secretly already a millionaire. It's an incentive to get marks or suckers into your scam, and some of them genuinely believe it, unfortunately.
Social Security number ties to. That's your driver's license, okay? So when they send you a summons in the mail, right? Again, remember, this is all corporate stuff. It's a commercial operation. It's a banking operation disguised as law, okay? Human trafficking, child trafficking, and family law courts, all disguised as lawful activity. It's not. These guys are criminals. They're pedophiles and human traffickers, the scum of the earth, in my opinion. Now, why do I jump to that conclusion?
Just a Peach with a $1 tip says, I vote in Kitsap County. They do not care about this person for money. They have the federal government paying for multiple military bases. Also a lot of rich retired people.
I'll tell you why. Because in spite of the fact that we have a very, very efficient system of government that is more than capable of being able to finance itself in infinitum. Why? Because they have tons of money.
What?
In those accounts, even though it doesn't look like it, and they try to pretend like there's a budget crisis every year.
Oh, he thinks because he thinks the SDK. Okay, yeah, okay.
There isn't. There's more than enough for these guys to be able to fund all their operations. But
we did it. We solved the deficit. Just pretend it doesn't exist. We did it, everyone.
Why do they do that? Because now they can form a bid, performance, and payment bond on every one of those tickets.
2 minutes on the hype
And
train.
when you don't show, they send a warrant out, a bench warrant. Again, this is a commercial enterprise, people. This is a corporation no different than Toys R Us or Chuck E. Cheese. They have a DUNS number. The only difference is that these ones have authority that was granted to them under emergency circumstances when Lincoln suspended the writ of habeas corpus. This was after the act.
Oh my God. Lincoln suspended habeas corpus along the railroads so that Congress could convene and vote to suspend habeas corpus, okay? Which is legal whether you like it or not. That is legal. Lincoln declared it, arguably illegally, along the railroads to ensure that representatives could make it to Congress safely to actually vote for that, which they did. Which they did.
Of 1841, where
Minute left on the hype train.
these states were formed. In the Act of 1871, where essentially they gave away all of our power to these things. Happened more again in 1917 with the Jekyll Island incident.
Nemesaur, thank you for gifting 10 tier 1 subs again, and Valorant with an added 4. Wow. We're almost at our goal for the month. Heck yeah.
Creating the Fed, and then in 1933, that was the final death blow to our freedoms. That's when we lost all courts in this country. That's when they all essentially became commercial courts. You can look that up. Erie versus Tompkins was the decision. It overturned a 100-and-some-year-old ruling that basically separated us from the corporate structures. So when they turned us into corporate entities that they're now trading out here on the stock market, you can look it up at treasuryhunt.gov. Put that little 12-digit number in there and go look around, okay? Get off your asses and educate yourselves, people. But when you do that, you're going to find out that all attorneys who work for bar associations, they're just another union. Except for this dirtbag union actually traffics people, and it traffics children for money in family law courts.
Again, no, CPS is not child trafficking. Overthought, thank you for gifting 5 tier 1 subs, getting us over our monthly goal. Incredible. Thank you, everyone. Wow, we did great this month. We got to our goal with days to spare. People did like a couple costume months. Was that this month that we added like 3 or 4? Jesus Christ, this has been a crazy month. Thank you, everyone, for all the support. I couldn't do this without you. Thank you.
What do I mean by that? What I mean is when you get a marriage license, that is a patented event. If you look at the Patent and Trademark Office, it has the state, the husband, the wife, and there's a dashed line between them, which means it is a line that carries no weight on a blueprint, right?
Pissmas was a big motivator. True.
So really,
it was a Pissmas miracle.
The only connection is between the spouse and the state, not to each other. That's why they have, in their opinion, the authority to come in and take your offspring away or send some corporate...
No, it's not. That has nothing to do with it. What are you talking about? Your children are human beings and not your property, and they have rights that are, like, bound to be protected by the Constitution. So if you mistreat your kid, if you abuse your kid, they can be taken away because they need protection from you to protect their rights. It has nothing to do with your marriage. Not everyone with kids is married. What are you talking about?
Agent, because again, remember, I don't care who it is, Child Protective Services or whoever. It's a corporation, people.
Not.
They live by
There is such a thing as federal corporations, to be clear. So, like, the FDIC is a federal corporation. There are others as well, which are basically corporations set up by the federal government. But the federal government itself is not a corporation. Not how this works.
Statutes. If you are one of God's people, you are not to live by their statutes. This stuff is biblical, and they mean it literally.
The Bible does not tell you to overthrow the government. The Bible, Jesus tells you to render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's and to follow earthly rulers. Like, what are you talking about? He has no idea what the Bible says about this shit.
Understand that. That means that if you truly want to live as one of we the people, this is why all tribal members of the Mato tribe are state nationals, or we are working to correct our status. Because just like tribes of old, guess what we have in common? We want nothing to do with being U.S. citizens. That is a corporation based out of Washington, D.C. All state nationals are American born. We have a permanent allegiance to the state that we were born in. Now, let me roll something else by you here, okay? You're going to like this.
Am I?
You get on the State Department website, you can ask for a certificate of non-citizenship status and read up about what they say. They said it was so infrequently used, and I'm paraphrasing here, that they decided not to have it at all, and instead what they would do is they would go ahead and just have the passport reflect that. If you get into your passport and you thumb into the front, it says, please extend all courtesy to this citizen/national. So they recognize it on the passport. There's two statuses. You can be a U.S. citizen slave, or you can be a state national.
They're talking about people who are born in, like, American Samoa. They're not talking about you. They're talking about people born in U.S. territories that don't grant citizenship because they're not states.
Diplomatically immune, sovereign, okay? And this, again, is not conspiracy theory. Go look on your damn passport.
Your interpretation is the conspiracy theory. You are correct to point out that verbiage on the passport, you do not understand what it means.
Passport, people. Wake up. Stop listening to the talking heads on TV. They're all owned by the same corporations. Think about that.
Thank you so much for that hype train, everyone. Another just absolutely incredible one. I couldn't do this without your support, so thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Everything you watch, everything you read, everything you hear, everything you see is very carefully sanitized and canned for you. You're watching a Truman Show. It's all around you. You just don't understand it. That's what I'm trying to help you see and wake up
thanks
to.
for following.
So on Monday, when you come to court, here's what you're going to see, and I'll explain to you why this is going to happen this way. They have a firearm that they took off of me in 2021 when they arrested me for this bullshit set of offenses, okay? They do not ever give firearms back, people. I don't recall anybody ever getting their firearm back if some corporate agent stole it. So how do we feel about that? Their little end run around the Second Amendment. Moreover...
Oh, I remember. Okay, this guy got some sort of domestic abuse charge or domestic battery or something, right?
There is no victim.
And that's why he got his gun taken away. Because in the state he's in, if you get a domestic abuse charge, you get your weapon taken, I think. And they do give guns back all the time. He just hasn't gotten it because of his state law.
This is another statutory crime.
Welcome to Twitch, Ajax. I really do like Twitch.
Where, again, they pretend that, one, I have some contractor agreement with Washington State. I don't have a Washington State driver's license. I didn't when this thing occurred. So there are no minimum contacts, as they call it. And again, they have no victim. The state of Washington is a corporate entity that cannot claim an injury. The prosecutor has no license. According to the Bar Association, all attorneys are supposed to be licensed. They think that their bar card is a license. It's not a license, it's a bar card. And it's from a foreign entity, the British Accreditation Registry.
Does he think that their bar card is their license, or that they're claiming that?
So that's their credentials in our courts here. Why? Because every courthouse in America...
Yeah, there's a much bigger delay on YouTube. I don't know why. It's always how YouTube has been.
...is actually a foreign ship. They practice.
Did he just say there's no victim in a domestic abuse charge? I'm assuming he's saying that because I assume his alleged victim, I don't know if he's been convicted. That's why I'm saying alleged. I don't know if it was a case where the victim didn't want to press charges, so the state did anyway, because that'll happen sometimes where a victim is either afraid or they've been like gaslit so much that they are just like, I deserve this, whatever. So they don't want to press charges against their abusers, and then the state will often step in and prosecute regardless. So that might be what he's referring to. It's possible his victim did not want to press charges, but the state did anyway, so he's saying the state isn't a victim. My victim didn't care. I don't know, though.
It's called Admiralty law, people. And the United States of America is the only country in the world where you can actually get drug into court under Admiralty law.
Benikagami says, there's no victim because to you, your child and wife aren't individuals separate from you, sir, so you don't think they can be a victim.
No other country practices it on the soil. It's common law, typically in most countries on the soil. Why do we do it here? Because there's money in locking people up. Remember, every false bullshit charge has a bid, performance, and payment bond. That's what they're after. They want their money, and they're going to get it one way or the other. Again, because this is how these dirtbag maggots make a living. Every attorney that goes in there with this victim that they call their client...
He means dragged into court.
They don't know that they're in there conspiring with the judge, conspiring with the prosecutor, and that it takes 3 signatures to go to jail. Yours, your attorneys, or the judge and the prosecutors. Your attorney, I guarantee you, will sign to throw your ass in jail. Why? Because that's how they get their cut of that bond revenue. The judges.
Wait, what? What? Does he think lawyers get a cut of the bond money? No, no one in the courtroom gets your bond money. What are you talking about? The court holds it. What?
Every time they adjudicate a case, they're not telling you this, but a big portion of that goes into their retirement fund. Why? Because it's a commercial event that you're witnessing. These are criminals, racketeers. They trade us for money.
Does he know that you get your bond money back if you show up to court? Does he think that when you pay a bond in court, that money's just gone forever and it's distributed to the judge and lawyers?
Money. That's what's happening here. They make it look, walk, and talk like it's law, but it's not. It's trafficking human beings for money. Pretending that we committed some crime so that they can bring false charges against
what's going on here. This gentleman is a sovereign citizen who claims he is indigenous. I don't believe he is. And is trying to say that the whole legal system is a fraud because he got in trouble for alleged domestic battery.
Against us and take our revenue. Or slap us with a bunch of bullshit fines and fees. Or take your freedom away completely and throw you in a jail cell. Why? Because they don't want guys like me educating people like you. Because then what happens? Now more of you start showing up. Now they can't just drag people into court. Now you have people stopping on the side of the highway and videoing officers. Why? Because they no longer see them as anybody there to protect us. They're starting to wake up to the fact that these are actually just largely inland pirates. That's what they're doing.
Do some courts use bond money to pay your legal fees? They can. Your bond can be converted if you have a fine or anything. Your bond can be just moved over to that. I don't know about legal fees. It's possible, though.
Trained to do. And again, I appreciate law enforcement, what they do or what they're trying to do. And I honestly do believe that the vast majority of cops become cops because they want to do good. But as we've seen in many cases, what happens is corruption sets in. Why? Because they have
Nerdy says this makes less sense than Wallace and Gromit, and I'm not sure how the fuck that's even possible. Gonna have to watch the rest of the new one tomorrow because it's long.
absolute power to run amok. Even if they violate civil rights, even if they kill people, who adjudicates it? The attorneys who taught them how to violate civil rights. That's why you never see these guys, almost never, unless they're on video and it's absolutely a slam dunk. But nobody asks the question, why are they out there in the first place stopping people with their emergency lights, creating emergencies where there are none? It's to create revenue. That's what the cop is trained to do. These guys are literally trained to stop at random anybody that they can
Not
for
random.
any bullshit reason that they can concoct. I don't care what reason the lights come on. They come on because they're trying to create revenue. When you see the lights in your rearview mirror, it means, hey, I'm here to try to bring a false charge.
So, like, in the past, when I've been stopping and a cop has been like, hey, your tail light's out, get that fixed. All right, have a good night. What revenue were they generating there when they give you a warning? You know what I mean? I understand what he's saying. There are absolutely, especially particular departments that really focus on metrics of, like, quotas for tickets and stuff, and that can become a problem. That can become an incentive problem. But to say that every time a cop is pulling someone over, it's to generate revenue is just, like, bullshit? It's just bullshit.
And to try to get money from you. You're not leaving until I get your identification. Why? Because it's tied to your social security number, and that's what my daddy at the prosecutor's office taught me to come and do. Is to come and get that social security number, to get that driver's license, so that we can drag you into our little courts, pretend you're a criminal, bring all these charges against you, and if you resist, we're going to go ahead and drag you through our courts. We're going to give this jury instructions, and we're going to tell them exactly what they can and can't vote on. In other words, it's all rigged. That's why they have a 98% conviction rate, people.
The feds have a 98% conviction rate. The feds. Feds don't normally bring charges unless they know they're gonna get a conviction.
It's because it's all rigged. Doesn't matter where you're at. If they can tell the jury what they can and can't see for evidence, if they can tell the jury what they can and can't rule on, or what they must do or must not do, guess what? You're dealing with nothing but a bunch of criminals, racketeers pretending like they're here performing some lawful operation on our behalf. If you have
Also, this is a non sequitur, but the Neverending Story 4K that whoever, you guys, sent me for Christmas, Baja and I watched it. It was incredible. Watched the extended German edition. Oh my god, I fucking love the Neverending Story. So good. What a good movie.
Have an injured party, that's the only time they're doing their actual job, because that gets sent to a jury for good reason. Somebody got hurt. But for a guy like me, who is literally a bona fide state national, they have no business speaking to me without permission. I've taken the steps necessary to change my political status, to put them all on notice. I've authenticated my birth certificate. I have it apostilled. I've done a commercial security agreement. I've absolutely had it notarized, and I filed in my home county. I've also filed in the organic record in Pierce County. And what I've learned is that it does not matter what I do. They're already going to do what they want to do. The only question is are they going to be able to do it in secret? Are there going to be enough of you that actually show up and watch a modern day lynching? That's what you're going to be watching on Monday.
Don't do that, man. Don't do that. Don't claim your issue is lynching. Come on.
You're going to be watching a bunch of white boys, and I hate that goddamn term because I hate
that language is not for you, sir. Not for you.
Racist people. But you're going to be watching a bunch of white folk tell this Native American, African American, Messianic Jew that I am
I don't think so, sir. I don't think so. At least that's not how they're perceiving the situation, that's for sure.
I'm not allowed to roam on lands that my taxes and everything else paid for that we own. Without
He's an indigenous, black, messianic Jew, is what he said.
Permission from white boy daddy Washington State. That's why I was stopped, is because the plates were expired. That's why.
We know the terminology for stolen valor. What's it called when you try to steal someone's racial trauma? Dolizoling. Ah!
My freedom was taken from me. That's why my weapon was taken from me. That's why I was left now permanently.
He did say African American and not black. That's true. I wonder if his family's like from South Africa or something. Like if part of his family's from South Africa, and that's why he's doing that.
Disabled through the VA after this attack on me, my kidnapping and my unlawful incarceration. And I had that coming. Why? Because I asked the officer, what crime are you investigating? And he said, your plates are expired. Boom, right there. He lost all jurisdiction. He has no
He did not.
reason to speak to me anymore. He has no reason to demand an identification. Why is that? Because I committed no crime.
The crime was driving without the proper license plates, or at least the illegality, the traffic infraction. Just a peach with $1 tips, as I would bet you that there will be at least 3 native persons working in that court. Yeah, this is in Washington State, so there's gonna be a decent number of indigenous individuals, compared to at least other places in the country.
That's the only time they get to demand an ID. But when you tell them no, they have this other little law that they came up with, their little statute, again, which applies to U.S. citizens, not state nationals, okay? Washingtonian U.S. state citizens, not me, okay? But they say, well, refusal to ID. Really, there's another cute little victimless crime. And why did they come up with it? Because there's also a financial amount attached to that. Are you starting to see now how this
He
works,
thinks they get money if they see your ID?
people? In other words, we're going to just go ahead and fleece everybody randomly on the highways. And if you try to fight back, we're going to go ahead and drag you into court. We're going to ignore everything that you do lawfully for the sole intent of trying to lock you up. Because that's how we silence opposition. Or once we get you in there, we kill you or do whatever we need to do to silence you. And that's fine. If that's where Jesus Christ sends me, then there I will go. And I will preach or I will die or do whatever he says to do. I'm his bondservant. I'm not going...
So he's claiming to, when he says Messianic Jew, he's saying presumably that he is ethnically Jewish but is a Christian? So basically this is a Christian white man trying to claim the plight of indigenous Americans, black people, and Jewish people, but he's just some white guy. Oh, it's like Munchausen's. It's like, this is like a weird version of Munchausen's. I don't know how to describe it. Benikagami says, I really hate how much air in the conversation soffsits take up. So much is wrong with the legal system. I was surprised to learn, for example, that depending on how it happens and where, a man can't accuse a woman of SA because the man wasn't the victim of penetration. Do these people care? No, these people try to convince people to opt out entirely. It's like people who protest the electoral system by not voting. Yeah, I think in the UK is the place where rape is defined as the penetration, the unwanted penetration of a penis. So basically you can't literally convict a woman of raping a man because she... You get... Anyway. Nerdy says, if showing people your ID makes them money, then British pubs have made more money off my ID than they ever have from me buying a soft drink. Tea-Time T says, Messianic Jews are Christian evangelical groups that uses Jewish customs and tries to convince Jewish people to become Christian. Most of them are not actually ethnically Jewish. Oh, Jews for Jesus! Did they change their name? That used to be called Jews for Jesus. They must have changed their name because everyone recognized that that was bullshit and got caught onto their nonsense.
Focus my next however many years on this earth when I need to be looking at eternity and being a good example for my children. Their daddy has been a law-abiding person my entire life. There's nobody out here that can tell me that I've ever hurt them, can walk into that court on Monday and say that I've harmed them. But I'm going to be facing the fire because we have criminals, racketeers, human traffickers, and pedophiles at the heads of all of these courts.
Munchausen's by racism? There you go.
That's what all of these guys have in common. They can pretend like they're honorable.
God damn, I need to do it. Speaking of Munchausen's, I really want to do a stream on Poop Squatch someday. Very strange fella. I don't know. Munchausen's is interesting.
People all day long, but these are literally scum of the earth. They literally take people and try to deprive us of our freedoms and our property and everything else for money. They put lives of officers in danger every single day for money. Any law enforcement officer that's conducted a random stop and has been killed in that stop, the blood of that officer is on the hands of every single bar association member in that county. Why? because they were the ones that sent the officer out in the first place to be able to create all these bullshit fraudulent charges so that these jackasses here could charge bullshit fraudulent fees to all people for defense. Why do we need their help? Because they have their own patented language in these courts. That's another truth. It's patented. It's been around for thousands of years.
Wait, does he think that legalese, or aka the jargon of the legal profession, is an actual language that's like millennia old? Oh, is he talking about the fact that Latin appears a lot? Is he talking because a lot of Latin phrases appear in legal discussions? Oh, God.
These guys aren't novices at this. They are experts in taking away people's freedom. The only reason that I wasn't facing this 20 years ago is because I'd never been accused of a crime. But once you're accused of a crime, what you're going to learn very quickly is that it's not about criminal activity, it's about money. Got nothing to do with anything else. DUI is not a crime according to the common law, believe it or not. It's a statutory offense. But according to the common law, you actually have to have an injured party. That's what you're guaranteed as a Republican form of government if you're a state national, in other words, common law. But because criminals are operating the courts and they ignore that and proceed with the trial, guess what? Your rights don't matter. So here's what's going to happen on Monday, okay? First, I got a bond that I'm putting on the case, which means that they technically have about 72 hours to dismiss it. They're not going to, again, because they're criminals, okay?
You don't dismiss my case, you're a criminal.
Second thing that's going to happen is when I go in on Monday, I'm going to present myself as Marcus-Troy : Reign.
Did he say a DUI is fine? I didn't catch that. God damn it, I hate when I miss good stuff.
Motto, Chief Motto, because that's what I use for diplomatic and other business purposes overseas.
He has a diplomatic name.
They don't recognize what a chief is. And I'm going to also tell them all charges are accepted on the record, discharge, and zero out the account. In other words, I'm here to make peace. I'm here to settle this account now, get this over with, and walk out the door. That's where you're going to watch the prosecutor or the judge say something to try to, again, get me to recontract with them. It's their job to try to throw me in jail. Even though there is no injured person, even though I'm the one that was actually disabled for life because of their unlawful arrest, even though I was the one who has had my property stolen from me, in spite of my repeated demands for them to return it, they won't. And then the next thing that's going to happen is, after I submit all my paperwork and they ignore all of that, then we're going to proceed to the actual trial itself. And when that happens, at some point during that process, I'm going to go ahead and present my counterclaim, because it's my right. And in the counterclaim, I'm going to allege everything that I know to be true. Racketeering, extortion, treason by sedition, terrorism, and a bunch of other things.
I'm sure that'll go good, accusing the court of terrorism.
I'll be asking the jury to find for me. And when this happens, you're going to see the judge and the prosecutor again start to cheat. They're going to start to get quiet, or they're going to start to try to force me into a different room, or they're going to start to try to force me into having a public defender. Or
I mean, they probably want you to have a public defender. It would be in your best interest to have a public defender. Yeah.
Or have somebody else speak for me. Because silencing you so that they can conduct their unlawful operation, again, the end result, the only thing they're going for is the appearance of justice, the appearance of fairness. But they've already decided they want to lock me up, and they're going to do it any way they can. That's only going to happen if you don't show up. And again, you can do that if you want. You can sit here and say, you know what, you got yourself into this, you're a chicken shit. I didn't get myself into anything in terms of asking to be trafficked like human scum.
Okay, but your actions led to this scenario because there are consequences for committing alleged crimes. You don't have to ask. Committing the crime allegedly was the ask. Generty says, British Nonsense Part 3008. Bills in the UK Parliament are still introduced in Norman French, despite that not being the main language of the country for a long time. Oh, that's very stupid. That's ridiculous.
Because that's what's happening. These pimps think that they own
I
us.
get traditions. I get why you keep traditional things a lot of the time, but at the point where it's like that, like out there and doesn't do anything for anyone, fuck off. Just a Peach with a $1 tip says, Kitsap County cops are asses, but they do their job to the letter because they're old or new, no in-between. They just want to retire.
Us. And it's been that way since you got your driver's license. Do you remember volunteering to be a slave? I don't. But that's exactly what happens when you have that driver's license. You're telling them, hey, I'm giving you control over me. You can tell me where I may or may not travel now. And they didn't tell you that, did they? They didn't tell you that the only 3 times that you need to actually have a driver's license is if you're hauling people, hauling products, or you work for the government.
No, you need a driver's license to operate a motor vehicle on all public roadways in the United States. He's just wrong. He's just wrong.
In other words, if you're generating commerce or revenue, because the state has the right to go out and actually control or maintain or supervise all activities dealing with commercial.
He's talking gibberish. It's all within the bounds of the sovereign citizen mythology, so I know it sounds like gibberish, but it's not gibberish. It is wrong. It's untrue. But what he's saying isn't something he made up. This is mythology that, like, all sovereign citizens believe, basically, is this belief that you don't need a license to drive on the roads unless you're doing commerce. Again, they are wrong. If you are operating a vehicle on public roadways, you need a driver's license. But they believe that you don't.
Entities. They have that right, according to the Constitution.
I'm glad you grew out of it, Ajax.
They do not have that right when it comes to personal conveyances, but they ignore that. Why? Because there's money in it. Starting to see this now? So on Monday, what you're going to look at if you do actually show up, okay, is you're going to watch somebody try to follow the law to the letter of the law. Even though it's a corrupt court, even though Admiralty and maritime law has no business on our soil, I am going to continue to act in honor. I'm going to continue to show up, dismiss all the charges by accepting them. Not trying to fight, trying to bring it to a close, quick set.
That's nice, Ajax. I ended up turning into a girl, so that's fun. Opposite directions.
Settlement. But again, my prediction is you're going to watch human traffickers commit more hate crimes against a Native American, Black, Messianic, Jewish man, because it's all about being vindictive. It's all about trying
I'm sorry, just the way he keeps trying to tout this, like, this fictive identity is incredible.
People. It's all about trying to make sure that they keep us under absolute tyranny. Only a few are going to be called. I'm proudly going. Because if there's anybody in there that I would send, it would be me. I'm not afraid of these guys. I don't run from pedophiles and human traffickers. Let's do this. But at the end of the day, people...
Everyone who tries to prosecute me as a pedophile is an interesting legal strategy.
It can't be just me. Can't be guys just like me. You got to actually get off your asses and start showing up. And again, not because you're out there trying to cause dissension, but because you want to keep the peace. There's that gentleman who, I don't recall his name, but in Germany, he was talking about that. First they came for the gypsies. I said nothing because I wasn't a gypsy.
Okay, I thought he was going to quote Hitler. Okay, he's quoting the poem that's anti-Hitler. That was written by a... Okay. I don't think that applies to you, sir. You beat your domestic partner, allegedly. Ashley 1UP with 50 bits says, to build on the crazy UK thing, as Terry Pratchett once said, you can't remove tradition, you can only add to it. In a scene involving the traditional changing of the gate keys between the day watch and night watch, involving the long process of the traditional patting down the pockets, the traditional declaration of I'd lose my head if it wasn't screwed on, and the traditional offering of a cup of tea before they really head out for the traditional sneaky drink at the bar.
Then they came for the other ones. I said nothing because I wasn't gay. I think it was gays, yeah. He said, and finally when they came for me, there was nobody left to stand up. What you don't understand, friends, is that all you have to do is show up. That's it, and we win. They'll never again be able to traffic people in these courts if we make that the new normal. What are you doing today? Oh, I'm gonna head down to the courts.
This video's from a while ago. This video was 2 years ago. So he already had all of this. I don't know if he was found guilty or what.
A bunch of other people. We're gonna go in and make sure
he
they're
butchered the poem.
not out there trafficking people anymore. Or I'm gonna be out here just pulling over and filming all these officers and waiting, and as soon as the officer drives off, I'm gonna go up to the person, say, hey, I'll be there as a witness. I recorded everything. Make sure that they can't hit you with any fines, fees, or anything else. I am all for an efficient, well-ran, lawfully operating government. But as far as I'm concerned, as long as the state of Washington withholds my firearms, as long as they are trying to traffic me unlawfully in their courts, I have a duty. As a U.S. military veteran who took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, I have a duty to resist. Absolute duty. Because they're criminals, they're racketeers, pretending like they're actually conducting lawful operations. But again, these guys are traitors to the U.S. Constitution.
Later. Maybe come back sometime. We cover stuff other than sovereign citizens. It's usually fun. Have a good day.
And I can say that with a straight face because it's absolutely and unquestionably true, and I can prove it. And I will prove it in court. The only question is do you give a shit? Ultimately, here's the bottom line. One way or the other, I'm going to clear my so-called criminal record because I'm not a criminal and I'm sick and goddamn tired of being accused of one.
Oh yeah.
So
cop watching, court watching can be wonderful, really good things to do. Look at the George Floyd murder, you know? But this shit ain't it.
if I don't win, I'm going to let them do their thing. They can throw me in jail or do whatever. But this is my announcement right now. I'm running for Pierce County Sheriff next election cycle.
He's so sure of himself. In my experience, people get into conspiracies in part because they're so sure of themselves. Extreme over self-confidence is a hallmark of the conspiracy theorist. One of the reasons they get into it is because they read something or listen to a video or something, and they're very confident in their own abilities to ascertain truth. So when they hear something wrong, but they believe it, it becomes very hard to fact-check them and correct them because they're like, no, I think this, and I'm always right.
If I have to deal with these assholes anymore. And I'm doing it out of necessity. Because I have been reading in the Constitution where it is that
your dad's into the GameStop thing? Oh, God. Oh, no. Your dad's name isn't Marantz, is it?
primary duty of the sheriff as the highest ranking law enforcement officer in every county to keep the peace. Sheriff also has the capability to bring forth grand juries, conduct trials.
$4,000 deep. When did he buy in? Because right now it's actually relatively up. It went up to $30. The whole thing's bullshit, but it did go up a little bit recently because a Roaring Kitty again returned. So he could have gotten out with a profit. Right now it's at $32. Oh, very late? Oh, he's still holding then. No, okay, he's probably fucked. All right, sorry. If he bought in in the hundreds, he's never making that money back.
Just like they did in the Old West. There's going to be a new sheriff in town.
Just a Peach says, Kitsap County CPS are some of the hardest working people in the country for very little money. Yeah, social work does not pay very well.
And since there is no statute of limitations for fraud on the court, guess what? Get your licks in while you can now, asshole, because when I become sheriff, the first goddamn warrant that I'm going to be filing is going to be for your happy asses. Me and my posse are going to come out, round all you assholes up, and you guys are going to be facing capital felony charges for treason by sedition.
Okay, so he's saying, elect me sheriff, I'll murder the previous sheriff. That's an interesting campaign promise. Vote for me! I'll murder the last guy! Worked for Trump.
And if I have anything to say about it, I will be standing there after you're convicted lawfully by a jury and listening to your scrawny little neck snap because you have it coming for trafficking all of us.
Earlier he referred to him being prosecuted as a lynching, right? And now he's literally telling the current sheriff that he's gonna snap his neck.
people and all of our
Just weird parallels, some projection going on, methinks.
children in your bullshit, corrupt goddamn family law courts. Babies deserve better. They do not deserve to be ripped from their families because a bunch of puke attorneys decided that they wanted to make a buck. Lob paperwork back and forth to each other like you're out there actually doing something for us, you sick sacks of shit. Yeah, righteous anger? It's absolutely justified in this case.
It's certainly anger. I don't know if I'd describe it as righteous.
If I hurt somebody, no problem. You can put me in front of a jury. But the second you're going to threaten my freedom because of money, even after I told you, take it. I'm not arguing. I accept all the charges. Go ahead. File your bonds. Do whatever you need to.
It's not about money. Does he not get it's not about money? This has nothing to do with money.
Enjoy your day. Peace and love. You turn around and tell me, no, I'm still going to take you through trial and I'm going to try to take away your freedom.
That's due process. Just a Peach says he's trying to become the sheriff of the one of the second most populated counties with the most liberal city, Tacoma. Oh, that's funny.
Fuck you. That's all I have to say. Fuck you. You're a dirtbag sack of shit loser. Get your licks in while we're here on Earth. I promise you, you're going to be living eternity in a pretty goddamn hot place, Jack. Because when you're out there doing this to people, when you're taking away their freedoms, especially some Native American on my own goddamn soil, are you kidding me? You're the foreigner, jackass. You work for the foreign IMF. I don't. You're going to sit here and tell me you have a right to try to police my activities when I'm out here doing nothing to anybody?
If a white guy calls you Jack, that's how you know he's real mad. Listen up, Jack.
I'm out here traveling freely, peacefully, as I always have.
Back to the past, Samurai Jack.
You have a right to take my weapons from me? Just like you did right before you massacred us at Wounded Knee and all these other places?
Sir, stop trying to steal other people's cultural trauma for your bullshit. Please stop.
That's what you think you have a right to do? I can tell you now, racism, human trafficking, and white supremacy, they're alive and well in Washington State, Kitsap County, and Gig Harbor especially, and I can prove it. It's all in the record. Go look it up. Anything with the name Marcus Troy Ream. That corporation. It's not me. I can prove it. Two different separate entities, but again, these dirtbag criminals on Monday are going to pretend it's me.
Fenekigami says, this guy gives off everything humans do is ultimately about sex energy, but with money. Yeah.
So we get to watch and see what happens, people. But again, if you sit silently, it's because you absolutely want to be a slave. If you can't even get off your ass long enough to dial in on a goddamn video conference to watch somebody else face the fire, you're useless. You're not worthy of the rights that my brave brothers and sisters in uniform died to give us. At the very least, get off your asses and participate. This judge and this prosecutor, if they see the phone light up with 50 goddamn people who want to watch a modern day lynching and human trafficking of a Native American, African American Messianic Jew, I think you're going to get their attention. I think that's when they finally say, you know what? Way too much attention brought to this. Way too many people now aware of the fact that you're not required to have a driver's license. You're not required to have insurance if you're not a U.S. citizen. Again, I don't give legal or tax advice. I'm just telling you it's a statistical fact because you can look it up in the records. You can look it up in the law. Everything is commercial, people. It's all about money. You need to wake up to that. That's the matrix. Okay? The matrix is that we've all been converted to corporations. And it's all operated and ran by these dirtbag sack of shit thugs in these bar associations across the country. That's who we are at war with. It's not the police. It's not anybody else. And there are good people in government. I believe that. The U.S. Treasury, the IRS, there's people in there that actually want to do really good. And they happen to be...
Why those two specifically?
Incredibly professional people. And really good at their jobs, if you can find them. Have them help you. That's what I'm still trying to do, is get my taxes and everything, finalized for the trust. But, these are things that we have to learn. We have to get up and start being involved, people, because if you're okay with simply going through kind of coasting in life and you have no idea what is going on or how you're going to extricate yourself from being this slave, guess what? You're going to be relegated to that forever. But you can go out and get your diplomatic passport so that you can travel without a driver's license. Again, if you're not working for the
Illegal to travel with, it's illegal to drive without a driver's license on public roads, travel, whatever, operate a motor vehicle on public roads.
government, if you're not hauling people or products, those are the only time you have to have those things. Otherwise, we all have a right to travel. We have a right as creditors, state nationals, to discharge debts. You need to read up on House Joint Resolution 192 and Public Law 7310. All of these things that were given to us back in 1933 as, basically a remedy since they took our silver and gold away. Use it. Our entire country is based...
There's 5 minutes left in this video for the record.
...on debt, people. When you wake up to this and we start to take advantage of it, that's when we, the people, take our power back. We do it lawfully, we do it peacefully. Remember, all Motto tribal members are neutral, peaceful, lawful men and women on the land. We do not advocate for any overthrow of any government. What we advocate for is absolute strict adherence to constitutional principles. And that's why I'm looking for sheriffs that are willing to run for office, and when you're elected, you deputize all law-abiding people in the county and put all other law enforcement officers on notice that, guess what?
Did he just say he's gonna deputize everyone in the county? You're under arrest. No, you're under arrest. No, you're under arrest. Spider-Man pointing at each other meme.
Your authority just got rescinded. You're no longer going to pull anybody over in this county. You're done. Until you give us our weapons back, you remove our names.
Once everyone's the county sheriff, no one will be.
Bullshit corporate websites, and you stop defaming people's character with bullshit criminal charges that have nothing to do with them. All these false bullshit charges. Guess what? If I'm sheriff, you're not writing another ticket. You're not stopping anybody. You do that.
What if someone's speeding in a school zone?
Make sure my deputies...
What if someone... He already said DUI's fine, so I guess he's fine with drunk driving. What if someone is swerving in between the lanes and in between cars?
We're going to come and arrest you. We're going to take your vehicle. We're going to take
What if someone has no lights on their car? They do not like lights, so they have taken all of the lights out of their car. No headlights, no taillights, nothing.
Weapons for safekeeping, because I'm the sheriff and that's my job, is to keep the peace. And like I said, we're going back and we're going to round up every one of these sacks of shit who brought these false charges against my name. I'm going to be the one personally serving those warrants, locking you up, and putting you in front of my jury because you got it coming.
My jury? That sounds very unbiased. It doesn't sound like he's going to run a drumhead trial or anything. My jury. Not a jury of your peers, not the public. My jury. I want to remind everyone that conspiracy theorists, when tested, are more likely to say they would be involved in a conspiracy than non-conspiracy theorists. That is to say, when they've done studies and asked conspiracy theorists how likely they would be to, for instance, if they were asked to be part of the moon landing conspiracy, more of them said yes than non-conspiracy people. So some of this is projection. So when he says, oh, the government's gonna lynch me, the government's unfair and everything's biased, he's projecting partially because clearly in his system, it's his jury. It's all rigged. It's his system. So in some part, it's projection.
Because you're a dirtbag criminal. And then I'm going to have my so-called criminal record cleared for good, and I will be treated as a state national with that respect that is due to me. I am not your goddamn slave. I am not a U.S. citizen. I can't say that more clearly in more unequivocal ways. I want nothing to do with your corporate horse shit. I live at the common law. I'm a bondservant of Jesus Christ.
I live at the common law.
I belong to the people of heaven, not your corporate aristocracy, not your communism, not your socialism.
It's a corporate aristocracy, but it's also communist.
I'm one of Jesus Christ. You need to get that through your head. Because again, this is human trafficking, any way that you want to slice it. You can doll it up, try to pretend like you're doing something. You're just a dirtbag bunch of losers trying to traffic people for money. That's what this comes down to. And the people are waking to this. That's why you have First Amendment audits going on everywhere. That's why you have people now in droves trying to change their political status. That's why the State Department bumped it from $400 to $2,350.
Phyllis Filler says, the common law in, we can't turn you away if you can pay.
It's because they know people are trying to get the hell out. They want nothing to do with this corrupt, crooked system that allows police officers to just stop us at will and drag us into their little bullshit courts. Thank you, people. Those of you who are standing up, those of you who have decided you've had enough. You're going to educate yourselves. You're going to do this peacefully and lawfully. Come join the Motto tribe. Start educating each other. Get into small groups.
Hey, fun fact, man. Real indigenous tribes don't usually just invite any random person to come join them and be part of their tribe. That's not how this works.
These are the things that we need to do to be able to finally go out and collectively, lawfully, and peacefully educate each other and take our courts back. Once we do that, hallelujah, friends, we're all going to be free again. No more nightmares dealing with other nonsense. No more calls for defunding the police. You don't need to defund the police when you have a well-educated, well-armed militia.
Oh, boy! His brown shirts surely will be a better choice.
That's who state nationals are. We are the militia as defined by the Second Amendment.
Are you well regulated? Did you forget that part?
Remember, the U.S. citizen's a 14th Amendment construct. Wasn't in the original Constitution.
Neither were the first 10 amendments. That was the first thing they put in to show the amendment process and how it works at the outset.
Doesn't appear in there
Your
anywhere.
Second Amendment is a fucking amendment.
People, there's a reason for that, okay? So again, I thank you for your time. Tune in on the 14th of November, 9 a.m., Kitsap County District Court, case number 233-18201, to watch the trafficking of one Marcus-Troy, Ream, /King/Chief Motto. Thank you for your time. God bless.
He's a king and a chief. What a douchebag. I do not like this guy at all. I wonder how his trial went. I'm gonna watch more of this stuff off stream, and I'll try and let you know what happened to him. Because there is maybe a gap in some of these videos, and I'm wondering if he went to jail for a while. He's posting consistently now. He's out, but... Anyway, he's doing tribal council?
Shalom. But today I want to talk about, golly, I got the wrong camera on here. Hold on.
Oh good, he took the headdress off.
We're going to be talking about giving proper notice to the proper agencies regarding...
Is this that one right-wing YouTube alternatives? Yeah, this is Rumble. A lot of conspiracy people are on Rumble. There's a lot of conspiracy and woo-woo, especially alt-health people on Rumble. BitChute is Nazis. I've learned that. There's different sort of flavors and tones to different sites. Rumble, more woo-woo. Sobsits, alt-health people, sometimes flat earthers, bullshit pseudoscience people. Nazis are on BitChute. BitChute's full of Nazis.
The flag. And I've been reading up a little bit here on...
Both are bad in different ways, but in case you're curious what the sites are like, that's the demographic boat, pretty much. Not to say, to be clear, there are also Nazis on Rumble, and there are also woo-woo people on BitChute. I'm just saying the key demographic is more slanted one and the other for them, respectively.
Of the different things that they're referring to, but before we act dome...
Oh, Comic Sans! I'm gonna hope that's because Comic Sans is easy for people with dyslexia to read, and not because he genuinely likes the font.
Bring the entire headquarters building and adjacent buildings. So in other words, you have the casino, you have all the other things underground, but the biodome up above, that's what's aesthetically pleasing. Why?
The biodome? What? Wait, what? 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 What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What?
Largest has ever been land near Rexburg, Idaho territory. Here's some features of the headquarters. Largest underground Class 3 gaming casino that has ever been constructed. Why shouldn't we? That's the...
I'm sorry, is he saying he's gonna build an underground casino?
The question that I have. Who wouldn't want something that huge? Largest underground amusement and water park that's ever been constructed.
Where's he gonna get the money for this? What's he talking about?
Biodome, covering the entire headquarters building and adjacent buildings. So in other words, you have the casino, you have all the other things underground, but the biodome up above, that's what's aesthetically pleasing. Why?
Does he know that biodomes have not historically gone well? And I'm not even just making a Pauly Shore joke. There was an actual biodome attempt and it went badly.
Because on the outside, we can make it look like...
It's called Spaceship 2, I believe.
Whatever we want. If we actually put television screens on the outside, we can turn it into, you know, another rock. We could turn it into forest. We can make it look like anything. So this...
Okay, I need to watch this video off stream and figure out what the fuck's going on with this guy. Thank you everyone for hanging out today and watching Sovereign Citizens with me. It's been fun. I think we're done for the day though, so let's see who we're gonna raid.
Homeless.
Have a great night, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow. Like I said, we are going to be doing a patron-only stream tomorrow. We'll also be doing a regular stream, but we will be doing a patron-only stream and YouTube member-only stream. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure you either become a patron member, paid, or a YouTube member. All right, that's it. I will do a normal stream, too. Just also doing the patron stream. So I'll see you tomorrow. I have D&D tonight, so that'll be fun. All right, have a great night, everyone. I'll see you soon. See you, Ajax. Thanks for following. Hope to see you again in the future. We do all sorts of fun stuff. Oh, Just a Peach says, the Shoe Shown Bangkok Casino is a tribal casino in Idaho. Okay, was he saying he's gonna steal it? I don't know. I'll watch the video and figure it out. Have a great night, everyone. If I don't see you, Happy New Year. But I'll be on stream. But if you have other things, bye.